is silly.
should I use today?
Find me.
Tiny dice, metal dice, normal dice, and gem dice.
Roll
Only
each
use-
one 120 times and
don't use your
take
gem
the
dice
average
for it.
height.
Yeah, roll all of them, and the one with the highest value.
As long as I don't
Roll them
roll
against
the
each
gem
other
dice
so they
together,
break,
I'll be
and
happy.
only the surviving one can be used.
How about no? I don't
I just
want
feel bad
to
about
use
the gem stuff.
2 dice enter, 1 die leaves.
Use the metal ones. They're so awesome.
They're pretty good.
They're pretty awesome.
What?
This is
I
so
will
awesome.
rotate them out every session, so they each get a chance to be played.
Oh yeah,
Didn't
I forgot that I
the
have
gem
all
dice
my crap on here.
break because you were
I rolled-
doing 2 of them at
I
the
rolled 2
same
of
time?
them together, yeah.
I feel like my dice are mad at me because we haven't played
But
in
I
3
got it
weeks,
twice.
and so they're getting
Get
impatient.
ready for that.
They roll bad every single time.
Yeah, mine for the past
Let us
5
not
has been.
impatient
throwing
with
a
dice
temper
anymore and
tantrum.
get started. we don't want bad rolling dice.
Boo. Boo.
I only roll good when I'm rolling for fun.
Exactly.
Get all the good
Still
ones.
casting ability ever go up?
Probably shouldn't.
Should we roll for the recap?
You have notes.
I do have 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Josh.
Perfect.
I actually have
There.
no idea what
You
happened,
want
so
to
I'm
borrow
glad I
that,
took
but
notes.
you
Oh,
should
hey.
get your own.
I forgot all the big
But
feet
I don't
you.
have money.
Well, that's
Okay.
sounds
What?
like your
The
problem.
guy I drew with like
Oh,
the lips
the
and
big
the
dude.
Yeah. Alright. Based on the official record keeping of Josh Esquire, Ku, Naki, and I shouldn't read this whole thing. I'll paraphrase.
Isn't it already paraphrased?
Yeah. So Bran, Nakia, and Ku are together, and we nicknamed them Bank throughout, so I didn't have to write it all the time. So they went down the water. Warren got lost in Cityville. Warren explored a building, crossed some bridges. Warren went to an attic ladder room. Berl's statue knows what she did. I don't even know what that means. There were some struggles with statues. Berl almost got eaten, gets a door of pity. Bank goes to the library. Bran finds a book. It's a spell to call on his deity, Arms of Hadar. Ku's in a fairy tale book. I forgot about that. We went down the trap door. Warren still got lost, still lost, and hits a bridge. Warren finds a circular room. Warren shoots at things and makes them cry. Warren fights an evil monster. Warren gets skewered and runs up. Berl finds a safe place. Warren finds Berl almost gets eaten. Warren doesn't kill the buddy. Bank finds twisty hallway. Bank goes up a stairway, sees homes and buildings outside. Bran makes a friend. Nakia gets hurt. Bran reprimands. You know what that means?
Birds. And
The bird.
he's like, no, that is not how you make friends.
Oh yeah. Ku scares the bird away,
Yeah, I do.
and we all got reunited.
Yay!
That's how.
That's a pretty good
Okay.
recap.
And
So you come to, you are all sitting on this sort of balcony. There's bars that protect you from the outside and a roof, and there's a couple chairs, and you're all there with some clinger-ons.
Mine's the, like, literal finger on.
Does anybody have some healing cantrips?
Nope.
Nope. Nope.
I only have enchantment and illusion spells, so.
Okay.
Do we want
Gonna be a no for
do
me,
we want
dog.
to take a short hit? Well, no, there's a chest. I want to open up the chest.
There's a chest.
There's a chest in this room. I remember that. I just didn't have a chance to open it yet.
Okay. Yeah, you open the chest.
What's in it?
Chesty things.
Okay. Alright. There is a cheese wheel.
Okay.
There is also a small bottle of, like, sort of a kind of a jar of sorts for wine.
Okay.
And that's, there's like some really stale bread.
Okay. Well, we'll take them out. I'll be like, hey guys, we're partying today!
With cheese?
Cheese and wine and bread.
Oh yes, I can drink that.
Do you want a little cheese with your wine?
I was some wine
I
for
have
that
a good
cheese.
feeling about getting not drunk.
Wine
For
has
the
been
next
present
10
this whole
days.
adventure.
The cheese is a aristocratic rank of cheese. The bread is a squalid rank of bread, and the wine is a modest
Modest
wine.
wine.
Modest
Uh,
one.
Which, by the way, that's how they describe food and meals. In fifth is it goes squalid, poor, modest, comfortable, wealthy, aristocratic. So this is like top tier cheese.
The summary for this session now reads: Berl gets the fancy cheese.
Nice. Alright, cheese.
That's all we have so far.
Alright, I'll pull out my
I don't know.
cut the cheese.
The cheese is cut.
So I feel like we need to just summarize what the setting is. So we're like up on a balcony.
Staring out into an endless amount of buildings that tower up into the heavens and down below,
Okay,
with
so
bridges, like rope bridges going from building to building, in just this titanic kind of almost house jungle.
so this kind of chaotic cityscape.
Yeah. And every now and then you see those kind of darkish, bluish humanoid figures with their long draping arms and harpoon-like limbs, and every now and then something makes a move and gets shot and grabbed.
Okay, and then there's the five of us, and then there's other buddies, right? We all have buddies.
Yeah.
Total of 3.
You have a total of 3 friends. You have one of the wretched, you have one of the lost, and you have one of the lonely. Congrats, I didn't expect you to be playing Pokemon or anything down your own team.
Go, lonely.
Got a friend of all.
I choose you.
Which one was the
And he
one?
gets like, just like some kind of like monster noise from Pokemon.
Which one's the one that I have?
You're the
got
lonely.
yeah.
Which is the strongest one, so congrats.
So far.
Hey Warren,
Level up.
how good do you feel right now?
I feel really horrible.
Like on a scale of 1
On your
to max hit
HPs.
points.
I feel cut down to half.
If you could numerically rate your health right now, that would be great.
I feel like half of
I
the
really
blood
like to
in my
imagine
body
it as like
is
the little
somewhere
faces
else.
at the doctor's office. Everyone has like a little book, and they're
A
like,
little scale.
On a scale of 1 to 10.
On a scale
if I was
of
a
1 to
cleric,
40.
my cleric would have like that as a tattoo or something, so it could be like, how do you feel?
Stealing.
I pointed the middle face in the
Okay.
diagram.
Yeah, where is everyone at health-wise besides Warren?
I think I still have temporary hit points.
Oh wow, so you're not. You're fine.
You're still
You
gone.
didn't get hurt at all?
I'm sure at 5
Wait.
points.
You got hurt, I feel
No,
like.
I did, but I still had temporary hit points that went to that.
Oh, okay.
I don't have marked any.
He
Minus
basically
my
did
health.
something to heal himself, so don't feel too bad.
So, what do you got, bro?
I'm down.
He did
at
miss
5.
the instant
I
down.
thought you said
So I'm
bro.
still.
Bro.
Hey, do you want a healy
Hey, bro.
potion?
Do
Okay.
you have a healing
Gosh.
motion? Those are hard to get at around here.
I do have one. I feel pretty good. Do you want it?
I would love one.
Alright.
So
Cool.
I'm
Don't
gonna.
have to burn a spell slot. I like that.
Well,
I'll
if they're
figure out if
sure in
it's
potions, I'm gonna take a slice of that
Steve
cheese and put it on a piece of bread and hand it to my little friends.
In a book of fairy tales.
The lost
In a book of prophecies.
nibbles at the cheese, but does not necessarily eat much of it.
Okay. And then I'll take one for me and I'll pass
In
it
fact,
around.
the hardest part is getting it to eat the cheese, because it doesn't know where the cheese is. It seems to like bite away from the cheese.
Aw. I'll try and guide his hand to his
It
mouth.
doesn't work very well, but you
Oh.
eventually succeed.
Yay!
Unless you want to roll for it, and we can totally see what happens.
Yes, let's do that.
Anyway,
That's
so
more fun.
how much is the potion worth? And are you 100% sure you're able to get at it? Because I've been trying to get at things that I own
Oh,
all day.
I got a 19 base roll, and then plus
I got
whatever
potions
to
too.
that.
Okay, cool.
Can't get at it.
Yeah, so it rolls normal, and your roll is good enough. Actually, I have to roll twice because okay, you still managed to succeed, but it's barely a thing. It's the most like feeding the most petulant child, but you get it done.
Here's the train!
And they're just like, no. Only difference is they want it, they just can't aim.
Oh, poor guy. Well, at least we made it work in the end.
I'm going to try and
There's
conjure
enough
up.
cheese and bread and wine for literally everyone in
Yeah.
this.
So I'll probably cut it up and pass it around. We'll pass the bottle
Okay,
around.
I'll eat
You're gonna
some.
cut the cheese.
Yeah, I've been cutting.
This is where everyone remembers that Bran is a teenager.
So
Hey,
Anyway,
We don't heal anything,
I
right?
mean, my
We
character's
just,
like
stuff
40
about
and he still
sheets.
laughs.
stuff about the potion. Are you actually able to get at it?
I'm gonna try and conjure up like 10 of these potions that
Okay.
I know of.
Oh,
Even though I
luck.
don't have 10.
Alright, interesting.
He's gonna
Give me a
conjure-
roll for charisma.
I have not
Saving
had
throw?
any luck with
Oh,
this, so
okay.
good luck.
As
Yeah,
long as I
Christmas
don't roll
saving throw.
bad.
Does he have to do it 10 times?
Ooh,
This is-
I did 25.
25, huh? Okay, that's good enough. You get 8 of them, but you don't get the rest.
Have one.
I know amount of thinking will bring it.
Strength's the health touch.
How much is it worth?
Like in
You
gold?
mean how much
No, I mean,
does it heal you for?
yes.
Like,
I don't know. This thing says 10 HP, but I can't remember if that changed or
I
not.
don't think it was.
That would be still nice.
It changed to 10 HP, whatever it was before we could remember.
Okay.
Because 10 HP sounds like not very much.
It's a lot, actually.
And then Warren obviously feeds his
For healing in a
cheese bread
bottle, it's a lot.
to the little guy, who
It is
probably
grateful.
devours it ravenously.
It actually takes its time. It's a bit savage, though, on it, but it's also like, it's trying.
Hey, can I have one of those potions?
Sure.
Okay.
Take one down and pass it around.
I have 6 left.
I'll take a couple just to hold on to, because I don't
Okay.
know when I'm gonna need
It'll
it.
probably go away when we leave because I made these up with my
You
mind.
mean if we leave?
I'll take it for now.
Oh.
I can
Oh,
share it.
shoot. Yeah, you can do that. You can totally be sending it to that then, Nakia. I was like, so you're like, I made this up with my mind, so I'm like, so you know it's a dream, so I had to roll it to see if you would fail that, and you got a nat 20, so hey, what do you know?
I
Don't
mean,
we know it's a dream?
Yes, but the thing is, once somebody knows that their powers are fictional, and that they're just making it up, they start having to take tests and deal with it, because they know they shouldn't be able to. Your own doubt fights you, but unfortunately, Nakia's test that I rolled for him was a nat 20, so he's fine,
You
basically.
mean fortunate.
You make great
Not
freaking
unfortunately.
rolls. Are you know that?
He's a sorcerer. He's
He didn't actually
cheating.
roll that.
He's a wild mage.
Okay, guys, so
My die respects
I
it,
mean,
and
we
what
have to
I
get
roll for me
somewhere.
gives me
does
that
anybody know
once.
what we're doing here still? 'Cause I
We
really
have
don't
to
remember
find
what we're doing
the
here.
dragon lady.
Dragon
Remember?
lady.
The sister dragon lady.
oh yeah.
Okay. Any clues? Any ideas?
I figure we just keep going up. I mean, when I first came to the town, this building that I entered was the thing that stood out. Just keep going.
Aren't we going down?
No, we're going up.
Who's it?
We're
What's
pretty
everyone's
up right
perception? Anybody have lower than 10?
Lower than 10 perception?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
I have the highest.
I have
Anyone have
11.
higher than 15
Yes.
besides you?
Besides.
Mine's 15.
You're good. You got?
12.
And what do you got?
11.
So you should probably break this down.
I've written it down and I keep losing it.
So you keep asking us at least once every session.
I'm a DM. I'm allowed. Anyway, so Q and Bran do notice far off in the distance a mass of black feathers just pounces on one of the figures and rips it off the balcony, and then just
One of the
disappears.
like slingshot guys?
The harpoon arm dudes, one of the lonely, just gets absolutely grabbed, and then the whole balcony thing it was on, which was normal and kind of just small railings, shattered and like broken and just is gone.
And it was
It was
it
one
one
of
those
the birds.
bird things?
Probably.
Rage things?
The
Yeah.
one that broke its head
What are they?
too,
What are they?
and
Rage? What's?
Oh yeah, one of them got very
Anger
angry
birds.
because
They are very rude.
he spat at me, so then I spat back at him, but with
I
Magic.
drew my dagger in
Magic.
his eye.
Extremely rude. I think that was the first thing that Bran's attacked this entire game,
No.
Next to the wretched.
and it was more of a
You
Wrestling
stuck
man.
that.
reprimand.
Yeah, you were like, that is not how you make friends.
Okay, so if we're gonna go up, we should just go.
I
We
don't.
should be careful.
Yeah.
I don't think we
There are birds that attack you.
So everybody's eating the cheese and the bread. We've all had a drink of wine and we're all good.
Yummy.
I don't think.
I don't think we're looking for anything in particular. There's something out here that the king.
If you guys want
No,
to take
it's
a
not
short rest, you can. I mean, no
Bran's
one's
not
stopping
gonna,
you. This is a safe room,
Bran's not gonna eat anything.
literally.
Like in Persona 5.
And
You're kinda.
Warren has given his food to little guy.
So Brand's not going to eat anything.
Okay. I guess I'm the only one that had a little bit of everything. I gave some to my buddy. What about you, Q?
I'll probably eat some cheese.
Alright, everyone
Because if
eats
it's
can.
poisoned, Brand's the one that's going to be left alive.
You know, the one that can bring everyone back from the dead is probably the best choice for that.
It's true.
What?
As long as you die within a minute.
You're always our designated driver for mysterious food.
Driver.
That's
Designated
not true
survivor.
because he ate the other fruit.
I noticed.
But I also can cast Cure Poison, so it's
Okay.
like...
That's fair.
Alright. And everyone wants to leave the safe room?
Yeah.
I'm ready to go.
Can I sneak? If we're going out and there's crazy bird things,
Well, hold
I
on.
want to be sneaky.
You open the door, you see the tower, you know, it spirals up. And then you can try sneaking. There's not really anywhere to hide. So give me a
There's
roll.
not a move silent.
Give me a stealth roll. Hide check. Sneaky move.
Sneaky, sneaky. Ooh.
Stealth check.
Stealth. 18 plus 6.
Alright, now roll it again because it's disadvantaged. Because there's nothing to hide behind. Except for your own group.
11.
Alright. That's what you rolled.
So you said you went out ahead? No.
I just said that
You're
when
just
we
trying to
go
be
out,
stealthy
I'm
as
trying
you
to be
go.
stealthy.
She's being stealthy with the
Brand is
score of
pointedly
11.
not being stealthy.
I don't want to be the first person to get attacked.
Pretty
Is
sure
really what's happening.
Brand makes it really good.
Alright. So you guys just heading up these stairs? What's the order?
I think we should send Nakia first because he's got that stone's endurance and he's gonna tank you that way.
Hmm.
And you've got all the potions.
Oh, I see.
So you can just pound potions as you get hurt.
We can play follow the leader.
If you die, I'll heal
Q,
you.
you should probably bring up the rear because you get the highest perception and you can see anything that might come up behind us.
Do I want to be in the back? No.
I
Dreams
don't
are
know if it was
terrifying.
the dream or what, but I'm suddenly feeling not as good as I did before.
Last time I was in a dream, I
Check
died.
the HP.
I found out that this wasn't the right thing.
What do you got?
I was at 27, but now I'm at 37.
Oh, because you took a health potion?
Yeah.
Okay. Out of...
I'm like, oh, actually, I don't feel so good. I'm gonna drink that thing.
It's because you shouldn't have drank
You
the
needed
wine
to
and
take-
the cheese.
The
I don't think the
Pepto-Bismol.
wine and cheese is what happened. I think he was just hurt and didn't realize
Yeah,
it.
he got the Pepto.
The adrenaline was running.
Yeah, I mean,
He's
that's
Tums.
He did almost get murdered by a giant monster
That
bird.
bird?
dude.
There's no spell to cure a rumbly tummy, so there you go.
Actually, it's called Borbortic Gomus, and there is.
Cool.
Oh.
I didn't know that, but now I need to know.
Anyway.
Spell. I must.
Okay, moving on.
Okay.
So how did the hiding go?
Up the stairs.
I mean,
She
I
doesn't
got
know.
an 11. We'll say all that.
She'll know when it matters. Anyway. So
You're
you
still
guys go.
asking the order? Or are we still figuring that out?
I don't think Bran's just gonna go first.
Okay, cool.
And with his little buddy.
Warren in the middle?
And by little I mean big buddy.
Yeah, I mean, it is at least your height,
Yep.
if not a little bigger.
We're going together.
Where's Nakia then?
I'm somewhere in there.
We'll put you right behind Bran.
So you put the two small people in the back? So that they can get lost?
Yeah, we've seen like horror movies. We know what happens.
Alright, you put
Yeah.
Nakia in the back then.
It's always the person in the front that's
And
fine, and they
Berl's
turn around and
still
like
too heavy
everyone
with
else is
Q,
gone.
So she's gonna be somewhere. But you're friends with what's his face, so we'll put you next to Nakia.
There we go. Tall, short, tall, short, tall.
I'll be between
That sounds good.
Bran and Warren.
Nice, very nice.
Tall people in the back.
Okay, so we finally file out of the room. Some of us slightly
Sneakier than others.
and sneakier than others. Alright, so we're back on the wooden staircase that has some floors with lanterns everywhere.
I'm
Oh.
trying to be perceptive.
But not all of them have those lanterns, obviously.
I think the lantern was further down. Where
There was just a pile of lanterns on one of the floors for
I look
no
forward
discernible reason.
I look forward to what other piles are up on other floors. Okay.
Up the stairs.
Alright, you guys go. The next floor has nothing on it. It is just immaculate. And by immaculate, I mean just really worn wood.
Up the stairs.
Up we go. I'm like pushing you.
I think I'm so old.
It's also real. I'm
We should
old
all sing a little
too.
ditty as
I'm
we
older
go.
than you.
Oh, I see.
You're not feeling it like I am.
The wonderful wizard.
I'm like so short that I'm like pushing your butt.
Can you please stop that?
Now remember, I did do a drawing of what the outside did look like.
The
Kind of like that.
Ooh.
Okay.
thought is appreciated, but please stop.
Okay.
So you guys keep going. That floor is boring. The next floor is boring. The next floor has a whole bunch of sofas.
Sofas.
Yes, lounge chairs fit for royalty. Or at least they would be. If on inspection you didn't realize that they weren't actually like fluffy and plush. They were wood that's painted. And it's just been carved to look like it's got
Like
cloth.
those stone benches I keep seeing everywhere up in like Holiday and Sugar House.
Yeah, that are just
Yeah, what's the
lie.
point, right?
I know.
They're deception.
Okay.
Okay.
They're fake. They sit on throne of lies.
Does a 17 perception show
Oh, yeah.
the passing eye anything interesting?
Oh yeah, 17 does. One of them has moved slightly.
Ah! We out.
Let's not.
Let's go.
Yeah, let's go. Let's go.
I'm out.
I'm gonna.
Let's all
well,
sit on
alright.
it.
Well, you guys wouldn't even know that, right? Like, unless we.
Did Warren
Is that
say something
effective
about
for-
that?
I'm gonna point at it.
I think that's a regular occurrence.
That moved.
Warren though, like
It
Warren
moved.
just like randomly points at stuff, so I don't know if I would take.
I mean, I'm kind of with her. I'm thinking those might be like one of those things that come out and eat you.
You guys,
Mimics.
it might be another friend.
Oh gosh.
I'll let you make friends with it. I'm
Yeah,
going back
you-
Brand, you
upstairs.
can go up and make friends
Brand's
with it.
gonna go up
I'm
and
gonna
make friends
stay
with
back here.
I'm gonna ready an arrow for this.
You approach the basically sort of small tower of lounges, and
Okay.
what do you do?
I say, hail and well met. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just gonna say, hey, is anybody there? Anybody there?
It's
There's
a
no
chair.
response.
Chairs don't talk.
Does anyone speak chair?
No.
I mean,
Hey,
I think we
Sanders,
all
come
can.
on.
We just have to sit
That
on it.
response was kind of wooden.
That was a good one.
Don't just, I'm gonna yell at the battle. Don't just sit there.
Like how it slowly.
See if it responds to humor, you know.
Nothing says anything, but all over the little fake rivets, the fake little things to hold the cloth in place, you know, kind of like those little dots they put on for ornateness and like
Yeah.
on the sides to keep the leather on and stuff, but there's no leather. Those all just like open up and they're all eyes. On every single lounge.
Oh, jeez.
We should leave.
I see you.
I'm out.
On all of the couches, not just the one.
All of them.
We leave. Come on, Bran. Let's go. Let's go.
Just drag him out of the room.
Yeah, I was gonna say do a strength check to take him out.
I'm not in a condition to do that.
I'm gonna wave the eyes.
They follow the hand.
They respond to visual cues.
Brad, come on.
I was right. They are the kind that eat people.
Brand, we have
Is
to
there
finish.
any response with my friends that I have with me? To the I.
No response.
We have to finish our mission
Okay,
and leave this.
So I'm trying to be
museum.
like, do you know this guy? Do you know this guy?
No, you're wrong. It does not respond.
Okay.
It is happy to be near.
I think honestly, I don't think Brand's not really feeling like we're in any danger. He's just
It's the
perplexed with
Come on.
how to get through to this thing. You know?
No, we're out. Brad,
Are you guys going without me, or
We're
are you?
leaving.
come on,
Stuck
Brad.
in the chair.
Brand.
All right, last resort. Brand's gonna try the Brand shuffle and start doing a little dance, seeing if it
Do a
responds.
performance check.
Alrighty,
Don't hurt yourself, please.
that's an 18 plus something.
Take care while doing the Bran shuffle.
It is a dangerous dance.
Let's see.
Only the most
Uh,
foolish.
Only the most brandy of Bran.
What did you say in performance?
Yeah, performance check.
23.
Not bad.
Dang.
Alright, it's a
You know,
dance.
if there's one dance you
The
know.
eyes follow.
What?
The eyes follow.
I'll just bow to it and then we'll leave.
Okay.
It's
The
not very.
eyes seem more pain.
It's not very
than they were
interesting. So I guess I'm taking up the rear now. But
The couches follow.
No, they don't.
So
well,
Berl is now in front.
Oh boy.
all right.
That,
Don't get hit.
We'll kind of walk side by side. Alright, we ascend to the next level.
Cool. You keep going up the stairs and doing clippy clapping noises and all that. It's very boring. The next floor doesn't have anything interesting.
I'm playing I Spy with Nokia.
Basically.
Okay.
The windows are on the outside still, but some of these are a bit more solid. They look a little less like they could be traps.
Okay.
Yeah, there's just one set of stairs up, and then it kind of hits this weird, almost solidy stone sort of floor. And there's kind of like a, sort of almost like a trapdoor or, opening from up top. And you guys are gonna head towards that.
I'll say, Nokia,
Yes.
go open that. You're tall. You can
Okay,
reach it.
what am I opening?
The trapdoor thing up there.
Oh, okay. I'll open it.
Well, I'm gonna go with him. I'm just gonna walk with the larger group. Anybody else coming?
I mean, I'm always following the group.
Okay.
I'm hanging back.
You're just like, I spy with my little eye, something starts with a T. And he's like, reaching for the
I Spy with my little eye, something starting with danger.
I don't see trees.
What are you talking about? Timber?
It's going down.
Okay, I'm opening the door. Can I open it without a roll? Because I'm just opening it.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, open.
You don't pull it down, you push it up. It is definitely a push up. It's not.
I push it up.
It takes a lot of effort, but you can do it. And you push it up, and it kind of falls flattish. So you basically do a full 180 with the door. And as you come up, you notice that there's a massive, sort of flattish plane that you're on.
Interesting.
else?
That's
Does
what
Do I need to
music
roll
change?
perception?
that's what addicts normally do. They normally have a flattish plane.
Like how
Not
far?
quite infinite though.
Off into the horizon.
Oh boy.
And there are occasionally little divots and marks, but they are all very geometric. And there are occasionally a small bush or a small like this or like a withered old stump or something like that, but for the most part it's sort of a barren landscape. And yeah.
And this is indoors or out? Or just like a big platform on a big garden on top of this building? that just goes
You
on?
cannot see any celestial objects or any real noticeable sky.
It goes on forever,
up
though, right?
above. Seems to.
We found
the
a weird
TARDIS.
infinite garden. Okay. Interesting.
Well, I'm going all the way
That's not
up.
my perception. I rolled perception. It's a 19 plus 7.
Not bad, not bad. So that's 26.
26?
Sure, yes.
Alright. You are very much aware that there is a lot of kind of dust. It's not actually dirt, it's dust. Just dust so ancient it's kind of degraded into dirt. And that's what this whole place is sort of covered in. And everything beneath it is actually some kind of stone. And you notice small ridges between some of these geometric landforms that are pretty small, but noticeably large enough to be like a small hindrance, like a garden fence. And they are all made out of stone.
Alright, well when Berl finds out that nobody's screaming and died yet, she's gonna head up with them and cautiously examine surroundings.
With what roll?
Well, no, just general
Passive.
existence.
Got it.
Yeah.
I think you see
Wait, Bran, did
everything that
you
he just
follow?
described.
Yeah, basically. I'm not looking to get a response.
That said, what?
Oh, she asked if I followed, and I'm like, I don't know.
Man, you make your decision. I don't
That's what I was thinking.
No, yeah, Bran will follow, just like meander along and kind of take his time.
Okay.
I'd probably turn to Warren and be like, hey Warren, those spices that you counted earlier, any of those salt by chance?
Let me check. I need them
Can I cast prestidigitation on just one cubic foot?
Yes. Yes, a few of them are.
Yeah, we got garlic salt, and we got salt, we got sea salt.
Salt, thing.
Seasoned salt.
I only use that Himalayan pink salt, sorry.
Summer salt.
Would I at
Spring
least,
salt.
without, well, would Q, oh, I don't know. Just knowing that there's like a covering of something on the ground that can be drawn into, is an 11 passive perception be able to pick that up?
The ground is really dusty.
Yeah.
Everyone notices that.
I
Okay.
failed to see where
That's like a 5.
I'm gonna write my name in the dust.
Okay. Well, I'm
You
gonna
can
go
do
to
that.
a spot and I'm
I did.
gonna
I did it. I wrote my name in the
Oh,
dust.
Alright, go on next.
I'm gonna go to a clearing in the dust and I'm gonna use my finger and draw that fancy eye and put a little salt in there
Alright.
and just see if anything happens.
Wow.
I just want to prestidigitation and cubic foot and clean it.
Don't do that.
Not that part, a,
A different one.
part.
You can do that, and there's a small rock that's exposed. Like small foot of rock.
What happens with the eye thing?
It'd be funny if it ends up being like the
It doesn't seem to
desecration
do much on its own.
And I put the salt in, that's all I needed. Impregnated. The presence of it,
I'm just gonna turn to my buddy and be like,
as long as it's
do
got
you know where we are?
salt.
Because I don't know where we are. Where are we?
Something about-
thing. We're in the attic.
Who am I?
Our
What
bunch
am
of
I?
salts.
What am I?
What is existence?
Well,
When?
there's lie or deceive, I think, as long as it can be seen. So
How
there's
am
no. Alright, well, I'll just call out if there's any celestials or fae or fiends that can't lie or deceive as long as it can be seen. So if there's anything hiding, I'm going to yell out and be like, "Oi! Make yourself known!"
I mean, I think this is just a really weird attic.
Yeah.
Did we
really
just
weird.
start walking in a random direction?
Well,
The
first, let's see if anybody responds.
well, the lost and the lonely sort of are paying attention.
Okay.
Oh, does that mean they have to tell the truth?
They can't lie.
As seems to be your little buddy. They're all looking at the
I'm
circle.
gonna look at the one next to me and be like, are you really my friend?
It doesn't literally shrug.
It shrugs.
The eyes of hurt.
Bran's gonna like betrayal.
I don't know. I mean, think about it. Does this thing even know what it's like to have a friend? Maybe it's just confused.
Are you a cop? You have to tell me if you're a cop.
What did you do? Yeah.
No,
He is a cop?
I think Bran's gonna just shuffle off.
Ah, psych Pete. He's like PD, you know? Puts on the hat. Bamboozled.
So, are we going to, I think we're just gonna go start exploring.
Okay.
If Bran is leading the way, then
Here we
Warren will
go.
follow.
Yeah. I feel like I'm just casting prestidigitation every little bit just because
See
it's
what's
really
underneath.
dusty
Skills
just to see what's
training.
underneath.
Okay.
Are we leaving footprints in the dust that we
We
can
do.
follow?
At least if you're not working on the part that Ku is clean.
I'm gonna walk,
I'm definitely like
I'm gonna
dragging
walk
We
my
can follow the
feet too.
cubes of.
I'm gonna walk in a
clean
random
that we're
direction.
objective.
Oh no. I'm definitely dragging my feet and doing it like on the other side to me.
North. Alright.
Which way's north?
Brian heads north.
Head north.
He
Do
senses.
you even know which way's north?
He doesn't.
How do you?
He can sense it.
Maybe while still
North
in the
is in
presence
front
of
of
the
you.
eye.
However, if you're gonna assume north is directly from the door you went to, that might be a good
I'm
way
gonna
to
tell my,
tell.
I'm gonna ask my buddy, I'll be like, do you know which direction's north? So we can head north?
It points, and it points up.
Whoops.
So
Then we head up.
Everybody.
It's also notable that the lost points down.
Well, the lost is lost, so that doesn't really help us very much.
I shouldn't be asking the lost or anything like I was thinking.
Okay. Well, we're just gonna head in the north.
Just start walking.
We're heading in the direction that we're heading.
Oh, in the direction. That's a good direction.
The direction.
The
Alright.
direction.
Well, alright. Okay.
Let's
We go.
You guys go on
Prestidigitating.
a long walk, and Ku, you're aware that distantly the trail you leave does sort of close in behind you. The clean, like the dust and dirt just kind of like trickles back onto the ground.
It is alive!
Can we count this walking as a long rest? I'm just,
Nope.
just asking. Or Bran.
I am now making like a pathway now that I've seen the dust do that, like making a pathway for myself.
Does it cover up?
Which you
our-
already.
Huh? No, I was doing it to the sides and like sloshing my feet through it because it was fun.
So you're pressing.
Does it do the same to our footprints?
Now.
Those don't seem to be going as fast, but it does seem to happen.
Oh dear.
Is
Okay.
what?
Is the eye still?
Hmm?
We're far
the
away
eye
from it.
Still?
Which eye?
We're
The
like
one you drew.
miles away from that light.
You leave that behind in the distance.
Just curious what I was
Um,
seeing as we were going away.
Guys, what if we can't find our way
After
down?
it goes out of sight, most of your buddies are not looking towards it at all.
Yeah.
Okay.
But before that, they did kind of occasionally sort of seem to like gaze that direction.
Good to know. I'm gonna hold on to that salt then, and
Any landmark as we go?
There's
Stands out?
a massive sort of box-shaped hill in the distance
Onward.
to your right.
I feel like that needs to be explored.
Yeah.
Uh,
Let me know when we get there. I open up my boots.
but
See
the
some
kind of
boxes.
does-
There's a giant amount of emptiness.
You know, there's other hills similar, but they're all different shapes and sizes, and they're way off in the distance. And
He said the box one first.
It's a box and it's rectangular. Let's go to the
Alright,
box.
we go
now.
to the box.
all right, you guys go to the box. It is quite large. It's about 30 feet tall, and it's about 200 feet across on one side.
Okay.
Climb it.
And it's and this looks kind of boxy. Is it
Yeah.
stone?
You want to go hit it?
I'm going to go caress it.
Ooh, it feels like it's covered in a thin veil of dust, but it is very much stone.
Guys, it's stone.
Good to know.
Is it? Does it have like handle? Like, does it have cracks in it? Things that can scale?
This one, no. It is in fact a little smooth, and any kind of lines seem to be more vertical,
I'm going
Is this
to.
like a big box?
like a big box. Hence the term big box.
I'm gonna
Oh, I didn't hear
play
the big part.
Dungeon Delver for check for hidden doors. On the
Alright.
ones.
There are no hidden doors.
Okay. No, it's just a box. We should go check something else.
You do notice that there is a slight kind of notch, and that this thing is not actually a true box. There's in fact a small difference between half the wall, and it's about an inch that kind of goes out. So it's not really a true box.
Like just enough to bug you?
Just enough to say, oh shoot, it's not perfect.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try and conjure up a grappling hook.
All right, roll.
Is he at disadvantage yet, or?
No, I'm not.
Oh, he hasn't
I have
failed.
not failed.
Charisma
I have
check.
not failed either.
Yep, but Warren and
Because I
Berl
don't do
have.
anything.
Come on, lucky dice. That's a 10.
Nice. You don't manage to conjure a grappling hook, but you do conjure a fishing hook.
No, you have failed.
Like, does that have fishing line on it?
It has, yeah, really thin
Okay.
kind of rope that's a little frayed and old,
Okay.
and doesn't seem to be able to hold anything's weight. Probably not even the wretched that's following Warren.
How big
Well,
is the
guys,
box?
if we need to go fishing, I have just
That's
the tool.
about, I said it was at least 100, so
100
feet.
feet tall?
I mean, if we need to,
Why?
you have your spider.
it's
plane,
only about
right?
30 feet tall.
That's true.
Oh, I could teleport to the top of it.
Can you see what's on top?
Want to use a spell
No.
slot for that?
Okay.
Is your spider climb a spell slot?
It's a big spell slot.
Right.
Not quite a third.
Or
level
we could
spell
just keep
slot.
walking.
How tall did you say it was?
Spider
30
climb.
feet?
30 feet tall.
There are other hills in the distance.
What if we all stand on each other's shoulders
We
and
would
make a giant human
still
tower?
not.
Or
I'm almost a third.
That's true. He's like, what, 9'10"?
Okay.
And you're 6-ish?
6 feet.
I like how you make me taller
15.
every single time you say that.
No, I've said 9 all day.
So between the two of
You
us,
said
we'd
like
be
9, 10.
Like 9 to 10, like that
Between the
range.
two of us would be
But then you
halfway.
shrunk yourself down a foot.
No, I was always
That's the point. I'm
8 foot.
having trouble, like, what's your original height and what
You're
is
just not
now?
gonna get
Well,
very
you're
much
normal.
mileage out
You're
of
6.
Berl. That's
Oh wait, right. I
You're
shrunk
like
myself
7
down.
or
With
8.
my like 3
You're like
feet.
7 or 8. He's 6. Warren is 5 feet.
I forgot that
so
I'm shorter
about-
in the dream world.
So you two could do a
You didn't
third.
quite
He can
reach
do
normal height. I
half.
think you
So
only
you guys can
shrunk like
reach
a-
half if you stand on your shoulders, and those two are only going to help it to 2/3. So, and if you add the dog, I mean that's still not going to
I
help
left
at
the
all.
dog behind. He's not with me.
It'd be tricky to get the buddies to climb us too. That would be hard.
I
Okay.
wonder.
Okay then.
Do you want me
Let's just
to?
keep walking. There's more hills in the distance.
Yeah.
Do you want me to burn a spell slot?
I want you to do what you want to do.
I want to do something fun.
Then do it.
Okay, which one? They're both the same. Teleport or
Let's do
spider?
teleport. That sounds fun. Of course, if you spider climb, then I could go with you.
Doesn't spider climb last for a certain amount of time though?
Like an hour.
Yeah, it's an hour and
Do that one.
concentration.
Do it.
Okay,
An hour will be gone before we know it, though. I don't
That
know
way I
if
can climb with you.
but
Maybe
then a
the next
misty
hill.
step is gone literally before I know it. Haha.
Okay. So I vote spider climb. Go for it.
I would say the
I'm spider climbing up the thing.
Alright,
I
put
wanna
that
go
slot
on
and
your-
make sure
hey,
you
They're both
count
the
it.
same. You said
I'm on to you, Tricks.
Oh, okay.
Can I climb with you?
You can ride on my back
Yeah.
while I
How
climb
many spell
like a
slots?
spider.
Was that a second spell slot?
Yeah.
Cool. I'm just writing down to make sure I keep tally because I've heard from
And I did
literally
not go
everyone
wild.
that everyone's a liar.
I did not go
What?
wild.
You did not go what?
I
Wait,
did
what?
My left hand told me he was like,
What did you say?
I did not go wild.
Good.
what?
That one time was pretty crazy.
Yeah, it was only beneficial somehow. Gosh.
The DM is furious about this.
I need more destruction.
Okay,
Alright, anything up there?
Alright, you
Is there
climb this
anything up
wall.
there?
Do I see anything? I'm on his back.
Oh, you're on his back? As you guys peek over, you do notice this is hollow. This box of stone actually only extends about half a foot. And then it goes straight down, and it goes even further down, and deep inside there's these
I'll crawl
long,
down the wall.
reddish plant-like things, which all have these long, like, spined, almost teeth-like thorns.
I don't think you should.
It's
climb.
hollow.
And it just goes all the way down into the darkness.
There's plants.
I'm going up.
So let's set
And then
something.
I start
No,
going
wait,
down.
wait, not yet.
What?
Just throw a rock down there and see what the plants do.
Okay, I'll grab a rock out of my pocket because they're not in my pants anymore.
I'm getting cold.
Are they friendly?
I'm throwing a rock.
Give me
I
the-
threw a rock.
You throw the rock.
Yes.
I did throw the rock.
I'm surprised you still have rock.
It's just not. There's a box with plants in it.
There's a box of plants in it.
A
You throw
huge,
rock down.
gigantic stone
down there.
box full of giant red spiny doomy plants. And the rock that was thrown kind of hits one of them, and it kind of recedes and kind of makes this soft, like, hissing sound. But it also sounds like,
Like when you step on a sea anemone.
Sorry.
Except
Wait.
instead of spitting at you, it just kind of screeches.
Are you okay?
it doesn't respond.
I'm just thinking, oh yeah, they're pretty, but stay away from them. Especially watch out for the big yellow ones.
Yeah, I don't think we should go down there, Nokia.
Okay.
Onward to the next thing.
I'm gonna turn to Warren and be like, they're dead.
You
No,
can
they're
see us.
No, we had already started going down and then you stopped me.
Bro, I assumed that I stopped you way before, like, we were out of sight.
Split the difference, you're barely visible.
Exactly.
I might have a foot sticking
You have a
out.
foot sticking up.
We've been down this road again before. They go off on their own. We think they're dead. We get really boring, and then Berl goes off on their own.
Hey, we should
I know,
we should
right?
go around on the inside and then scare them because they don't see us come back up. But then we just like come over and then go boo and then they scream and they're like, ah, I'm scared.
Can you, I could stealth that. Could you stealth that?
I
We
mean-
can hear you talking
No,
about
you can't.
It is only 30 feet away.
It is not, in fact.
I'm
impossible to
totally
hear.
like not even being whispery.
You failed
a stealth check. I rolled a 4.
He's just totally talking in his normal voice, like, hey, we should totally scare these guys.
Classic
They can't
Nokia
They
intelligence.
can't
He's like
see
trying
us.
to whisper, but he's yelling it. So it's like, we should totally scare these guys. And it just echoes around the box. It's super loud.
I'm pretty sure that plan's not gonna work.
Why not? Let's just do it. I just start crawling on the side to like the other end of the wall.
Okay.
Well, everybody's debating everything.
Can I do a deception
Don't.
to like
Start
pretend that I
walking
fell into
No.
the pit?
This ends badly every time.
Sure. Give me a deception check.
I want. Oh. My
Maybe you're
deception's
falling
still
in.
really high. That's a 15
Okay, that's not bad.
on a 7.
Yeah, Nakia is not really. It kind of feels like a little movie, and then like, oh, maybe she fell. Oh no.
What?
I'm trying to make this
Nakia,
plan
roll
work.
Perception or what is that?
Yeah, give me a perception check.
What did you roll?
I rolled a 15 deception.
Where is that? That is in.
I assume that
Oh,
you
I
would
have
know
a plus
that I
1.
did.
I have a plus 1, so I rolled 15.
So he's aware that you're still on his back for a moment. He's like, ugh.
I'm still here.
And then
I'm trying to
Berl,
make your plan work.
Berl turns to character, waiting around for a bit to get embarked. He's like, alright, we can keep going. Start walking off to where the other shapes are.
Is
But they're our friends.
Well, they're taking too long.
How long
One of
does it
these
take to
times
get
you're
to the
going
other
to get
end?
killed doing this.
How long does it take to get to the other end?
No.
I feel like
A
Earl
couple
doesn't care
minutes.
about us anymore.
Because we'll go over to the other end and then onto like the other side of the box and come
Yeah, she's
out.
still
She
pretty
doesn't
Yeah.
even care about that. I can understand her being mad at me.
She never had a
Just
connection.
leave Nakia.
Yeah.
She never really
So
had a connection.
yeah, you can go around and what?
And
Come
like
out
just
the other
kinda
side.
coming to like the other corner where they wouldn't see us. Kind of like going out just behind the corner. And then we'll just wait for them to like
I feel like it's
walk
Well, you
by.
can go out because they heard you, and then I'll sneak around the back. You can pretend that I like fell or something.
Okay.
They hear a loud okay.
I say we leave them behind and just go in our own direction.
No,
you go-
this is a
You
bad
go around
idea.
that way, and I'll go around the
Come
back.
on, Bran, let's go.
Alright.
Okay, no.
We'll do that.
Hurry,
Stop.
get to them.
They're obviously just fine. We can hear them.
You
Wait
can't.
for the group
You
to come
can't hear
back together.
me.
Yeah, but
Then
I
you're
mean
wrong.
he's heard enough.
What was that? No, let's go meet them
I
on
run
the
around the back.
No, let's just go meet them on the other side.
Sneaky. I sneak you around.
Give me a stealth check.
Okay.
This one's gotta be me.
Warren, let's just go meet them on the other side. They're obviously going to the other side.
What'd you get?
That plan.
13.
13? You managed to do so. It's a little difficult because of all the dust that you kind of kick up as you do it, and cleaning it is not necessarily the quietest thing.
Prestidigitation?
Whoosh.
There's a bit of a sound provided when you displace matter. It's not loud, but it is there, and there's not really a lot to like distract from it if you did. So you kind of catch that before you really get into it, and then you're fine.
Yeah, I didn't see myself using prestidigitation.
Even though you're not running, I just think of a dog.
That's my
running
point. Is
around.
like you thought better of it.
Okay, yeah.
So can we walk around and meet them as they come out the other side?
You can absolutely do
Go
that.
around that way.
Since you already heard that plan originally, you can absolutely do that. It's not bad.
I did not hear that plan.
No, they
originally
heard
you
my
did.
The
plan.
original one, which was still go around the edge and scare them.
That's right.
So they'll catch you, but not you.
Okay.
I'm glad that we're doing our time with this. This is important.
So they're going the other way from me?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna like try and sneakily follow them. Cause I like kind of peek over out of the corner like, oh,
Follow us
the
in
other
a
way.
plane stealthy of dust with nothing to hide.
Disadvantage.
No,
because of
it's in
how
a
loud
box,
you
right?
guys
So
are.
if he's
You know, he doesn't.
hiding at the side
it
of the
was- it would be
box
fun.
that you don't see.
Stealth check?
True.
Yeah, stealth check. This is a whole new stealth check. for you, so no
Is that-
disadvantage.
Oh yeah, of course, it's dexterity. 13.
13. Okay, you managed to do so as well. Which is pretty surprising, but then again, you do realize that the dust actually does make you quieter when you walk kind of. As long as you don't like kick it up or anything, it softens the noise, kind of like snow.
Does a stealth of 13 mean he's hidden from my perception of 15?
Nope. But you are distracted with another 13, which would probably make it more likely you wouldn't catch it.
With another 13?
That's mine.
Hers, from a different direction,
Well, no.
much closer.
Mine was 13
Okay.
from the other direction.
So, unfortunately, you are unaware of the Nakia.
Okay.
Nobody
Okay,
wins.
if I'm hiding on the other side of the wall and they're coming up on me, like, do I see them? Like, can I perceive that they?
You hear them.
Okay, cool. I'm pretend to be crying.
Give me another deception check.
This is funny. 17. Or no,
Alright.
Deception.
Whoa, cool.
Oh no,
What's
that's still 17.
Alright, okay, you put on your convincing fake cry.
Oh my gosh, cool. What's wrong? What happened?
Well, okay, listen. We solved crazy plans, right? You heard us talk about that, right?
Something
There's
about
crazy
that.
plans out there. So I was like, Nakia, we should go away. And then he had this crazy plan to like go around the side, and so we went around the side. But then like once we got to the top, the plants got him, and he threw me across from the other side. But they got him.
We gotta go over the wall.
Anybody have wisdom
How
over
close?
Over the wall. Throw me.
What?
Anybody have wisdom over 15?
How
I'm gonna turn
close?
to the lonely and I'll be like, you should go console her.
The lonely does not understand.
I'm trying to teach so lonely human mannerisms, okay?
How
It's
close
not
am I
even
behind the
him.
group, and how well can I hear her?
The lonely's consolation is it launches one of its arms out, and it just doesn't hit her, and then just kind of like taps her with it as it goes by, and there's this sort of, so literally like around the ankle.
Good job. I'm proud of that result.
Berl's freaked out.
Okay,
Or not Berl.
Stop teaching this thing.
It is
to us.
proud of
We
its
have bigger
actions, though.
problems. We have to get to the
As much as
right
something
now.
that is
Yeah.
terminally
He's
sad
gone by
can
now.
So I'm following them. How far am I
Probably
behind them,
Aiden.
and how well can I hear her?
I'm definitely
story?
distracting
Roll a
them.
13, so you were about 50 feet before they can detect you.
Okay, so we're gonna
Yeah.
try
I am
and...
super distracting them.
Yeah,
So-
that's why it's 50 feet, not 100.
And can I hear her?
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna.
Wait, so-
Okay.
So-
I rolled above average intelligence, so I'm not gonna do what I was gonna do.
Wait. So she's saying that he got lost in the plants.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so our response would be, he's a valued party member, I need to save him.
Okay.
That's something that we would get behind.
Yeah.
So, I don't know if we can get over the wall ourselves. I have a vision
I'm hoping that you're coming up very soon.
I think I'm gonna try and knock down the wall.
Okay. What you gonna do to do that?
Oh, I have an idea.
I'm gonna cast spiritual weapon.
Alright.
I'm gonna start climbing up
Are
the
you
wall.
sure that's necessary? He's probably dead by now.
What if it was you? Would you want us to save you?
Well, if I was dead, I wouldn't want you guys to kill yourselves.
But we don't know if he's dead or not.
I'm gonna climb up the
No,
wall
yeah.
to the
Say
other
something
side.
if you're not dead.
Alright.
Okay.
What are you trying to do?
I'm just rolling like an intelligence saving throw. Above 10, then I am like smart enough
You're rolling
to
your
not
own
do that.
intelligence saving throw. Just on its own.
You know, see, it's not, why do you even need me?
Alright.
Anyway.
So I'm casting spiritual weapon.
What
I'm
are
gonna
you
try to
doing?
break down the
I'm,
wall.
I'm climbing up the wall over like the lips so that they can't see me, and then going back to where they are, and then I'll like do a thing.
Alright, so spiritual weapon.
Alright, give it a roll.
Okay. To hit.
I assume so, unless spiritual weapon is something you need to roll to cast it, which I don't think it does.
Just gotta burn a spell slot.
Oh, burn a spell slot again.
So fun.
So it's That's a 17. Did I hit the wall?
Yeah, that hits the wall.
It's an unmoving object.
It's very
also
wide.
massive.
It's like hitting the broadside of a barn. I think a 17 will do it.
Okay, so I
I think anything above a 1 would do it.
Roll damage.
Wouldn't it be fantastic?
It's like when Grog was trying to smash the rock. And
If you roll a 1, that's
roll
from
damage.
hitting
It's a rock.
anything else.
that's 10
Of
damage.
course you hit it.
10 damage? Shoot, alright. Let me
You
see
said it
how
was half
this
a foot
works.
thick?
Huh?
Half a foot thick, you said?
It's half a foot thick. You smash right through. the
I'm
wall,
running.
And what spiritual weapon did you summon?
Pretty sure he's not very
Why not? Yeah.
creative. So it's a giant mace. Just like he has a mace.
Just whack. So you pound a giant mace-shaped hole through this wall, and it sends this chunk of stone and dust just flying. And the wall kind of cracks and like shatters around the point, almost more like glass than actual stone.
Okay.
Wood and yeah,
I'm
that
definitely
happens.
running away
And
from
you
the
start
wall.
to hear lots of hissing.
So is there a hole in the wall now?
There's a
Can
whole
we see
wall.
anything through the
Yeah,
wall?
mace-shaped
You
hole.
see the other end of the wall, and you also see the faint outlines of plants farther down on the other side. And the plants are all hissing, and they all seem to be like doing the little writhing dance that only
So
plants can do.
I'm gonna look through the hole and I'm gonna be like, Nakia, are you there?
And by this time, I'm crawling over the thing and I'm like, don't go down there. It's terrible. They're all dead now, though I killed them all.
They are certainly not dead based on visibility.
But don't go down there. There might
I
be a
think you
few
should have
left.
to roll for deception here.
Roll deception.
They almost got me.
I wanted to make you roll performance, but let's just declare
Deception?
deception. Inception. No, it's gonna be
11.
deception. Alright, that is not very convincing when they have proof that you're wrong.
I am so laughing.
What are you doing?
Jessica was laughing.
Yeah.
From 30 feet away.
Get out
Brant's
of
just
there.
gonna be like
What are you
really
doing?
confused, like what? Koo, you said he was
I am
down
30
there.
feet away. Right when you broke through that wall.
Koo, you said he was down there.
Said he was dead.
Or something.
I
You said he
mean,
was dead.
We're all looking at you now.
I'm gonna run over to Koo and give her a big high five. Man,
From
that was
like
the best.
50 feet away.
Brant's gonna start tearing up.
Alright, guys, you start climbing down, and then you start feeling shaking. And this, kind of all the ground around you starts to shudder. And you hear the hissing just intensifies to this loud chorus, and then all of a sudden you begin to hear this cleavy clackety, and this plants start to like jump out of the hole, just like slither in, like pop out of it, and they're just like cackling noises.
I'm hiding.
I'm running.
There's-
I'm running and hiding behind a
There
bush.
is nothing to hide behind.
He said that there were bushes here.
Occasional, extremely small bushes.
I am a very small humanoid.
For you, they might work. For everyone else, including Berl, probably not.
Nakia, did you lie to us?
You're
Those
saying that?
kinds of plants are just popping out of this
That's what we're
hole,
running
and you guys are where you're running to.
Guys,
Away.
Because
I'm like running.
this place, it's hard to tell because it's mostly just a box in the middle of nowhere. But
Can we still see Berl?
everyone can see Berl.
Yeah, you should probably run where
Yeah, I'm running towards Berl.
Alright, you guys run back and you see these plants just pouring out of this hole, and some of them are way larger than they ought to be to get through this hole, and you notice they like shrink and then they like kind of like to squeeze themselves out, and the hole like breaks again, and a larger one like
No.
pops its huge head out, and they all have these like vaguely human-y faces to them that are just covered in these sort of teeth-like petals, and they just sort of like writhe around these sort of almost skull-like kind of like ends of the stump or like the bud in the middle of the flower. And they are just absolutely making all sorts of cacophony. And that's kind of what's going on right now. What are you guys doing? Just still running?
Run!
I'm
yes,
running with
Do
just
you.
that
there.
thing where you make friends!
They aren't necessarily chasing you. They're just pouring out in massive numbers and just like sort of like.
Can I make a roll to figure out what they are?
So wait.
Is there a roll for that?
Sure.
I'm trying to get an idea for dimension where we are. So
Is that just like straight up intelligence? I don't even know. What would I... History?
Give me an Arcana check.
Also, while we're running, I'm like,
17.
why don't you laugh at my jokes?
I did. A lot. I high five you again.
So
And then keep running.
okay, so with Warren saying, "Hey, why don't you make friends?" Bran stops in his tracks, like comically, like skids a little bit with
Please
like,
don't.
and then like turns around and is like, "Yeah, how come?"
Please
And
don't.
he's gonna yell at the plant guys to say, "Sorry, I broke your house."
They don't seem to like respond directly to that, but they kind of like raise up this massive hissy, like almost shrieking noise in response. They don't seem to be chasing you though.
And
They're just piling out and just crawling all over each other in this massive flowery plantiness.
Bran's gonna say, I'll fix it if you know, I was just looking for my buddy, but I was betrayed,
That's it.
so
It's called a joke. A prank. It was a harmless
Why do you
prank.
guys not
Harmless
understand
prank. That is
light
not
humor?
harmless
You
when you
betrayed
come together.
Bran's-
It was
It was
originally
supposed to be
harmless.
you
harmless.
have betrayed Bran's tiny trust.
Whatever trust
Who's
there
used
was.
to that? How many guilt points do I have at this point?
You don't get any guilt points for that.
No shame or guilt points.
It was meant to be a prank. And
Bran's gonna start approaching the plant things and
No.
say,
Wait, what was
sorry.
my 17 history
You're the one that
check?
told me
I'm about to
Go
figure
make
it out. I
friends.
have the name, I
I
just
thought
don't
they were
remember.
chasing us.
Okay,
I
okay.
didn't suggest him to go back and make friends. I
Wait,
just
let
said
me
do
tell
that
you
thing where
about
you
these
make
creatures
friends.
before you try and make friends.
I'm not
Buffering.
listening to you ever again.
Please.
Never.
Please. I'm sorry.
Bran is like going la 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 and like walking back towards the
Wait,
plants.
wait, I'm sorry.
They are Nagiers.
They're what?
They're Nagiers.
Nagiers.
They are kind of these terrifying flower creatures that are. They're not really fae, they're not really fiends, they're just sort of a mix between the two. And they're usually more annoying than they are murdery. Not that they can't and not that they won't, but they're usually just more frustrating to deal with.
Okay.
They're particularly known for infesting weird ways in other strange places and being an absolute jerk to most life.
So as Bran approaches him, he'll be like, "Join us in our grand quest."
Let's not.
Alright, what languages do you know and what did you say there?
He only knows Gnomish and Dwarvish and Halfling.
And
And
Common,
it's
say in
common.
common.
And which one did he use?
Probably common. I don't think he speaks the other ones very well.
They don't seem to respond very well in common. But they do sort of raise some of their limbs to the sky and like sort of like wave their tendrils and just sort of like
I think Bran's become.
wrapped in this sort of strange euphoria.
I think Bran's become.
And they
really
speak a
good.
language none of you understand.
I think Bran's become really good about communicating with people that don't want to be communicated to. So he's gonna start doing the same thing, mimicking them by flailing his arms.
Okay.
Yes.
Warren,
Makes them angrier.
Warren, go get Bran. Let's get out of here.
The flailing continues.
They're like those,
it is a
like-
flail off.
Okay.
Roll performance check.
Go
I take
get
Bran's
Bran.
arm
The
and
flailing
start
intensifies.
Roll a performance check, Bran.
Okay.
You're like the
You know what's
things
funny?
in front of a
I
car.
think performance is Bran's worst.
I'm
skill
gonna
to
teach.
roll.
I'm gonna teach Nakia how to play rock paper scissors.
And while Bran is flailing his arms, Warren's just standing there and curious.
I
to
said
play
I don't-
rock, paper, scissors.
I only got a 9.
I haven't had an opening
They
to do
seem
anything
disappointed. The general consensus is Thavathicha.
Okay.
They seem to repeat that noise a lot.
Well, ultimately,
Alright.
Brandon might have to bust out his secret weapon.
Oh no.
And Berl's gonna be like, I am traveling with idiots. just gonna
They're-
walk back again.
By the way, they're still
yet.
piling out of this hole,
you
like,
making a
and some of them
skeleton monster
range up to
off
90 feet long.
They have decided to get angry.
And others are like
It didn't.
30 and others are like 5. There's an incredibly small one, and it gives off this incredibly high pitched like.
Okay, I'm gonna
Okay,
do
so
a,
how many of them are there now?
There's about 70.
right. I'm gonna do a strength check and grab his arm and start. Oh, but that was bad. I'm tugging on like, alright, Bran, don't do this. Can we
Also,
not do
Bran
this?
is bigger than you and in full plate now.
I mean, he's got a
Me.
point.
I can just pick him up and
Yeah,
hold
not
him
kidding
like.
about
No, but me and you are learning rock paper scissors.
Oh, we are.
Yeah, I'm teaching you how to play rock, paper,
Also,
scissors.
I don't know
Oh,
if Brand's gonna
I
let
might
me
have-
close to him at
maybe.
this point.
Why is this a thing you're doing right now?
Maybe it started walking away because I didn't realize that.
However, you wouldn't
No,
know.
I didn't say it.
Arcana check wise, you would know that people do summon these as sort of servants for their bidding and stuff. It's not uncommon. It's just really rare. Like
Okay.
summoning the plant monster, sort of like a thing you don't normally do for everyday things.
Well, Bran, having not been able to get through to them, is going to
Wait,
bow
hold on.
and
One
say,
second. And then
very,
we'll walk over.
very well, and we'll be on our way, you be on your way, and
Okay.
hit me up if you ever need a wall repaired, because I owe you one.
Hold on 1 second, Koo. And I'll walk over and
They,
pick up Bran and hold him like a
Oh
second.
no, Bran is not going to let him pick him up.
You bash him with
Bran's
his
mad. Bran's mad at Nakia because they deceived him. Got like betrayed.
Hey, what's your intelligence?
Probably better than yours. is what I'm gonna say.
Yeah, well, I'm hoping it is.
No, it's actually not great.
Is it better than average?
What's yours?
Mine is average, which is 0.
Mine's a +2.
That's not bad.
That's not bad at all.
Yeah, but
It's
Come
not
on, Bran, you're
minus.
smarter than me. You're
I mean,
supposed
that's
to
not
recognize
great.
that this is a funny joke. And then I'll pick him up and hold
Yeah.
him over my shoulder.
I think you need a contest for
Nope.
that one.
Yeah.
not gonna happen.
Is that
Contest.
Not gonna happen.
Strength,
Bran's gonna run away.
athletics then versus athletics.
Oh, athletics is better.
Dang it.
Is it his strength versus his athletics or athletics?
Athletics versus athletics. This is why I pointed and said it twice.
Okay. I have my
Maybe
number.
you should watch the finger
You have your
guns.
number? Say it out loud before I roll.
So
Okay. 18.
Oh no. Okay.
this music is way too fitting.
Nat 1.
As you make a run, you fail to notice the fact that one of these plants has just gone right by you, and you trip over it and its roots. And
And I
this is not
accidentally-
intentional, but you do take 2 points of piercing damage from these long reddish thorns that cover their bodies. As one of them gets stuck in you and just breaks off of it, and now you have a thorn in you that's like 6 inches long.
Bran's just been laying on the ground crying.
I
I'll
would
pick
do
him
it.
up,
This is
hold
respectful.
him over my shoulder like a baby, and pat him on the back.
Bran's gonna cast Sacred Flame.
Okay.
On
That'll be
the plants
I'm-
while we're walking
Where?
around.
Very-
Nakia.
Okay.
So you're gonna hit yourself?
What?
Yeah, there's high risk of that.
Yeah.
Alright, give me a
He's
give me a
kind of
dexterity
throwing
saving
it.
throw then to make sure you don't hit yourself.
Okay.
We're such a
You're
This
so
is very
productive.
fun.
we're such a productive D&D group.
This is why I have trouble planning
I got a
things
bit-
that
I
can
got a
end your
15.
story for you. Gosh.
I got a 15 on my deck save.
Alright, you don't hit yourself, but you also don't really get a good score on Nakia either. It's a really hard shot because you're on him.
Can I at least like toast him?
Oh yeah, you roast his foot.
Okay.
His foot's on fire, Nakia's foot's on fire. It doesn't actually do bonus damage to you because it's literally just light.
I just feel like it's unfair when like characters like get
Take away your rank.
manhandling each other. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no.
I hate
So
when that
Nakia, roll constant. Well, how much damage do you do, Josh?
I guess to make a dex save throw of 16.
Oh, I think I might have passed that. Dex save throw, 21.
Okay.
Not bad.
Yeah. Okay. So
Do it with disadvantage because you're grappled.
he doesn't take
True.
any damage. No, he's not grappled. He's grappled me.
That's still grappled.
We're like grappling each other.
You'd have to let go to not be grappled.
The next
It
one
goes both
is
ways.
a 5.
That would hit.
Alright, he does get
Got
hit.
me.
How much damage?
2d8.
Ooh, that's fun.
So let's see. That's an 8. That's an 8. So 16.
I'll use my stone's endurance on that. How does that work? 1d12 plus 3. 8 minus that, so it's just 8.
Okay. So he takes 8 damage.
Ouch, and I'll put
Berl's
you
like
down.
100 feet away. And still walking.
That's right.
Why'd you do that?
Friends don't pick up friends. I don't know.
Really?
That doesn't
Not
make
even
any
to hug
sense.
them?
That doesn't make any sense. Brent's just mad, okay? It's not making any sense. Just very betrayed. And
hurt.
failed at making friends with a lot of friends that could have been friends. And
Indeed.
Bran's gonna storm off.
Why are you looking at me like that?
He's gonna shuffle off.
You're smarter than me. You're supposed
And
to.
it's gonna look back as you say that and just like look sad and then keep shuffling.
You're supposed to understand like these Goliath jokes.
Does he?
I'm sorry.
No response, just
Does he?
quivering lip and
Does he at least storm off after Berl?
sure.
Okay.
Just give him a little bit of time to cool off.
Yeah. So you storm off a ways, kicking up some dust as you go. The plants have just sort of, they're escaping and they're just happy to be out. And they're doing all sorts of weird things and doing
So you
weird
could say I
plant
made a
things.
lot of friends.
You might have, you know.
You
there
made
was-
them
I am their
happy at
savior.
least. You made them happy.
I am their savior.
You could do
They
that.
will worship me.
You could do that for all of the
They
hills.
speak in all sorts of language you don't know, and there's a lot of that getting tossed around and uncertainty.
Okay.
But they're very happy. They're doing their flowery dances.
Okay. Well, I guess I assume we're all going to start trailing after the two people who don't want to be with everybody else.
Yeah.
Crew has now pissed off 2 of this 5 party members.
She's doing a fine job here before
The funny
she
thing is, like, I think Bran would be pretty resilient, but like the deception is what hurts.
Yeah, it's like I can't trust you.
It's the deception that was just.
So as you guys do,
Can't do
when you do
anything
go
right
off
now,
towards where
just
Berl
roll
went, the plants do follow you very slowly. But they're not necessarily like chasing you. It's hard to call it a chase. They're much slower. They go to a speed of about 10 per round, you go about 30, so they're just following the distance ecstatic.
Okay.
It's like a conga line of plant monsters.
Tons of gold
Skeletal faced,
Tons of gold
murdery thorn plant monsters.
This is just a meta side note. Bran's very rarely run into a few things that are actually going to fight us so far.
This
Everyone's
is
scared of those
surprisingly-
plants, and you know, nothing.
Well, I can tell you, might have been different if you jumped in.
Probably. And I was about to for Nakia, but no more.
Oof, character development, the drama, it's so real.
Nakia's slowly, like, you know, becoming moody and angsty.
Knock your
Like,
brain.
yeah, or Bran.
Bran,
That's what I thought.
it's Nakia fueled.
Okay, fair enough.
Nakia fueled angst.
Well, what direction are those two storming off in? I
Wherever
guess?
the shapes were, that's
They are literally in every direction. So, I mean, pick one. Were you going back the way towards where you came or away from it?
away. The next shape in the general direction that we were originally traveling.
Right, I'm going to call this east for now, because north was from where you came in.
Hmm.
So you went east,
Okay.
which is only so I can imagine it.
Okay.
So you guys
Change direction.
just stomping off in the east, this sort of loose chain, and then this whole line of planty boys following behind,
Don't forget
singing
the
their
walls.
unintelligible hymns
Worries.
and driving trails that are so long.
You become their savior, and they're dedicated to you.
I don't know if that's the truth either.
I think the saddest part about that is I think that would make Bran very happy, but I don't think he would notice right now.
He hasn't noticed now.
I'll make sure that Crew will make sure to tell you later.
So basically what happened, to summarize, is we went to a giant box, we burned 2 spell slots, and then we're followed by a bunch of plant monsters.
In a lot of ways,
Also,
it's
we're-
almost like you
Some of
recruited
us
an
are
army.
fighting.
Hey!
Also,
Only 2 spell slots, congrats.
Yeah.
But the question is, did we recruit the army to fight us or fight for us?
they're not fighting us.
Yeah, they're
They aren't fighting
true.
us.
Well,
Maybe they're not
eventually,
even
I
an
took
army.
2 damage and I did get
Maybe they're just a
speared.
bunch of hippies that are here for the ride. I don't know.
Okay, so
Freeloading.
carry on to
Yeah.
Carry on. Let's
The next shape.
next shape.
get to the end.
Okay.
Roll to see what
Right,
shape
that
that
is-
is.
There it is.
Sure.
I'm just terrified that we're gonna be stuck here forever.
It's a decahedron.
Well, if people weren't climbing into boxes and
A
knocking it down.
12-sided,
People wanted to see what was in it.
I wanted
sort
to
of
see
box.
Yeah, you stopped us to draw an eye. They can stop us
So it's
to
a
put in the
dodecahedron?
box.
I'm trying
No,
to
no,
remember, it took
dodecahedron
one turn, that
is,
was like 20.
10.
No, dodecahedron would be 20, wouldn't it?
No, that's icosahedron.
Yeah, no, that dodecahedron's 12. You were better than me, sir. But it's not one of those because it's not a die. It's a. Yeah, sure, it'll be a die. Why not? It's half submerged into the ground, and it sits out there like some glorious statue long forgotten.
The 12-sided die?
Yeah, covered in diciness and
You
dust.
want to try and break through this one too?
There are symbols on the edges. Do any of you know primordial?
No, none of us know anything fancy. You may as well.
Grog doesn't
I
know
know
any
this
fancy
all.
language.
I just want to see if any of you are going to try to learn.
Grab me a bit. When did you pick that up?
I mean, my
I
intelligence
got
mod
the
is 4,
undead
but that doesn't count
as
for
a favorite
languages.
enemy.
Interesting.
Cool. So nobody can read them. They're these strange symbols. They're vaguely similar to ones you may have read, but they're not really the same things. You get to just their numbers on a giant die.
I think Bran's kind of on the side of this giant shape and just like hitting it with the mace repeatedly.
Alright,
Just because
roll damage, because it's not
Did
dodging.
you say
you.
hangry or
No, he's like tapping it. He's not like.
Yeah, roll damage.
It's gonna be glass.
Actually, wait, I don't know what D it is. I don't hit things very often. But,
Just roll a die.
I mean, you might as well do a
Depends.
D4 since you're not doing it too hard.
It doesn't matter what die you roll, it's...
it's a D6.
Oh no, a d6. The most common.
That's a 6.
It's a 6. He's been rolling lots of high damage. That's a 9.
He's been hitting it for a while.
That's 9
So
damage.
you've just hit
total.
it for a real long time and you've managed to scrub the dust off one of the sides. And you do notice that it is covered in eyes. Little, small,
Eyes?
blinky eyes.
So I'm hitting the eyes?
They look a lot like the eyes you saw back on the couches. in the
The minute
lens.
Bran sees that they're eyes, he's gonna stop back and be like, no! Because it's a living thing.
They don't seem to mind being hit. And they just stare.
Now Bran is gonna attempt
When
to
you
try
hit, they
and
would
communicate.
blink and then they open again.
Bran's gonna try and communicate with the eyes.
Okay,
While
well,
we
we
wait
do
for the
that.
others to show up.
Feel free.
That's right.
Are
Okay?
you going to blink at them?
So, hi, friends. I tried to make friends earlier today and it didn't work out so well.
It did
so
actually work.
You could.
He doesn't know that though.
Could you be?
Yeah, but who saw them?
He lacks
Following.
critical information.
At this point, it's going to be kind of a defeated appeal. Like, I've had a really hard day here. I was deceived by my closest friends,
One thing counts as a
and
rough day.
and now I've been wandering around in this dust, friendless, except for the other friend that's been following me this whole time.
Okay.
And I'm failing in my quest to make friends with everything I see at this point.
The eyes blink.
Alright, just for the heck of it, Berl's gonna come up and be like, hey, what direction would you think we should go? Just kind of like look in the direction of something mysterious that's being guarded very closely.
Yeah. What were you saying about?
We need a MacGuffin.
I was talking to the eyes and I said,
Oh, you don't see them.
oh, well, okay, never mind.
Brent's just like talking to a stone. Is that what she's saying?
Yeah, she sees you talking to a giant die that's partially submerged by dust.
And I think he's lost his mind.
So,
In fact, nobody else can see the eyes when they get there.
so here's the deal, and I'm still talking to the eyes. So here's the deal.
Have we come up to him yet?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
he's had his time.
I think I'm gonna try communicating with you through staring contact.
And so all we see is just Bran staring at this stone dice thing.
Yeah, actually a specific point. or
That
two
isn't too
near the
uncommon.
corners.
Brent's gonna be like,
Hey, Bran?
He's lost his mind. Yep, that's it.
Bran?
Bran, roll a wisdom saving throw, or should it be charisma? No, it's wisdom because it's your force of will.
what's that?
Let's see if you can out wisdom
wisdom
the
Alright.
yeah will save basically.
Okay.
Well, on the plus side, one of them is bound to blink before you do.
No! Alright. The 15 plus 5, so 20.
Wow.
Not bad.
I'm
You
wise.
managed to stay for a good 20 minutes. And
Just watching it.
Your eyes are
So,
just water.
To a passive bystander, he's staring at a rock and his eyes are starting to water.
while the eye you're looking at doesn't blink out of the corner of your eye, one of them does, and then it's like it goes wide and it starts to burn. and the eye just sort of like starts like looking in weird directions, and it starts to like vaporize, and then eye just starts to roast, and then it just turns to dust, and there's a spot where there was an eye.
Oh wait, do we see that?
You guys don't see anything.
Now
Oh.
Brad is gonna start crying because he wasn't trying to earn anything.
Bran is a gentle soul.
However, you do manage to.
We're
Can I
like
cast
half
Cure
of
Wounds on it?
You can absolutely cast Cure Wounds
Let
on
me
it.
cast Cure Wounds on it.
All right.
I hope that's not too
It might not work since it is in fact perhaps vaporized.
It's
Well, I'm
not
talking about like Cure
alive
Wounds is like the whole
anymore.
thing.
Okay, fair enough.
Or I can do that, or I can bring it back to life with a 4th level spell.
I was thinking more like stabilize or something.
I don't
You know, because you're a cleric, you have
Oh,
medicine skill at
Well, I
least.
can stabilize it just by touching it.
Oh, then touch it.
It's a cantrip.
Touch it, boy.
Touch it.
I'm gonna touch the eye.
You touch the spot where the eye was, and
Guess spare the dying, I guess.
spare the dying, and the kind of like beneath your finger, it kind of slowly returns to an eye shape that's closed, and it isn't necessarily open, but the eye shape is returned to you.
Are you still in this staring contest?
No.
You just see him put his finger on the thing and do something with magic.
You see him start
First
crying,
there was
touch it, and then go. He's gonna bow to it.
Okay, you bow.
Show respect.
The respect. Let's see how well the respect goes.
Bran,
The respect is received. There's a blink.
we go.
Not yet. I'm making friends.
With what?
You guys kind of blink, and they all just kind of fade into the stone for a bit, and then you begin to see small eyes appearing in the dust and just around as well as on your clothing.
Huh. I feel like I've made a friend here. I think we can go now.
Do we see the eyes open up on his clothing?
No.
You don't.
We don't know anything about the eyes.
Alright guys, I made
But
a
you
friend
do
now.
feel a small like wind in the area that hasn't been there before. So you feel a small like breeze, like an actual wind, which hasn't been in this entire area before then. Just a small like, and that's what you feel.
And then I'll turn to everyone else and I'll be like, okay, I made a friend, we can go.
I'm gonna like
You
lean
know
over
that
to Ku.
all those plant things were following us,
They
right?
are still following you.
You see
They're
that?
300 feet back, but they are coming.
They were like there was 20 minutes of Bran staring. Are they?
You know that you-
closer than
They
300.
are keeping a respectful distance.
Brand's just gonna smile and say, all is right in the world.
You made many friends.
All is right in the world.
I'm gonna like
We
lean
can
over
carry
to Ku.
on. We can carry
What?
I'm gonna lean over to
You
Ku
feel
and say,
better?
hey, I wanna
I
say
feel better.
a
Big guy.
fart joke, but he might
feel
not be
better.
ready for that.
Okay.
He might not be.
I'm happy for you,
Ku,
man.
I forgive you for your deception.
He has a pretty good deception though, right? Kind of
No
funny
deception
joke. Kind of
is a
funny.
good deception.
Well,
Not yet, it's gonna take some more time.
Why? Because I picked you up?
Bad
That
touch.
might be part of it.
Meanwhile, Berl's just muttering to herself, just like I'm surrounded by idiots, and we're lost in this world, and we don't know where I'm going, and we can't go anywhere.
And then I'll just come over to Berl and be like, come on, friend.
I'll just keep muttering.
Well-
You have to go make friends with Rock.
being like, this was interesting.
Okay. I say we
Well,
carry on that way, and
At
Brand's
least
gonna just shut
Bran
up.
feels better.
We weren't stopping every 5 minutes to make friends with every inanimate object. We could be somewhere right now.
Well, we're
I
in a
think he's
dream,
making-
so I don't really think that we
Oh,
could be
okay.
anywhere.
He's making more progress with this friend making
Interesting.
than I think the rest of us will with this wandering.
Just
We
different
seem
approach.
to awaken to the
Different
eyes.
approach.
Yeah, so you guys keep going.
Yeah.
Cool. Things pass in the distance. One of them's a massive sword, or at least something vaguely like one. It's about 100 feet tall, or at least it would be if half of it wasn't in dust and stone,
Okay.
and just sitting in the ground like a really poor statue.
Can we go to that?
You can totally go towards that.
I'm not gonna go towards that because I think it might offend our plant friends.
It's a sword.
It's a
don't think it
blade
will.
that could,
Does that offend you? I mean, it could cut you.
We don't have to go to the side, I guess.
I mean, you can go if you want. You can go
I
if you
kind of
want.
want to see if there's shiny gems on it.
Wait, okay. I imagine you were about to list items and.
Well, there's just a whole bunch of junk out there, and if you want to like look in detail, you can get a whole bunch of interesting junk.
Yes, I want interesting junk.
All right, there's like a star-shaped crown, but it's like 100 feet around, but it's only a foot tall, so it's this like huge ring, basically shaped thing. Yeah, it's interesting. And it's just sort of this big old ring out there. It's almost like a fence, but it's too small to be a fence to anyone but maybe Koo. And maybe the little wretched that follows Warren.
I can't reach it. I want to go see the junk. Wait, was there just those two things?
Yeah, everything else is like, oh, it's a box, or oh, this is a sphere. It's like a marble, only it's hit the ground pretty hard, so now it's kind of cracked the ground.
Okay.
Oh, what else do you want to know?
I just want to take some.
Actually, what you do notice is it is getting dark.
Wait.
The sky has not changed, but it is getting darker.
Guys, I just had an epiphany. What if we're like super tiny now?
You know, that thought did cross my mind with the sword and the crown.
Bran's gonna light up that lantern that he got
Okay.
way back when.
Cool.
Now
You
put
light it.
lanterns.
It provides light.
Okay.
Up to about
He does
20
not like
feet
the dark.
actually of bright light, and then dim light to about 60.
Okay. Are we gonna carry on?
Yeah, if you want to.
Yes.
Oh,
She
You
was
guys-
longingly at the
Do
junk.
you guys
being
want to
like,
find a place to make camp, or do you want to keep walking? The plants are very tired. They seem to be slower at night.
I say we make camp in the crown.
That's a good
You're
idea.
gonna have to lift me over.
We lift you over.
Can't go.
Okay.
We do the parents thing where we each take a hand,
Oh, it's adorable.
swing you about.
Yeah, we'll like swing you back first and then swing you up.
Yes! She's totally into it.
Oh, it's
We
adorable.
also offered to do the same for you, bro.
The plants slither over the wall too, and then they kind of curl up around the edge of it
Okay.
and sort of form a ring of sleepy plant.
Bran's gonna tell a bedtime story to the plants.
Berl would try to climb over the wall. She doesn't want to.
You guys gonna like take a rest here? You're gonna start like a fire? You're gonna.
I think the
Fire would be a bad idea for the
I
plants.
feel like the fire.
I feel like no.
I'm trying to be culturally sensitive.
I think
What about the
you're trying to be
eyeballs?
like specially.
Are there still eyeballs everywhere?
For you, there are still some. They're not necessarily everywhere, but every now and then, where there was a button, there's an eye, or where there was like this, you see an eye just peering back.
So are they just appearing on him and on the floor, or are they sometimes appearing on us? And
They'll appear on other people. They'll appear on the plants. They'll appear on the crown. They don't
It's
seem to
never
care
like
where they
super
appear.
comical where like the plant has like a bunch of eyes so it looks like a person. And then,
Sometimes.
like two eyes, like
Or sometimes,
Yes.
sometimes there's just a whole bunch of eyes in like a string that just go down somebody's back in like a weird trail. And then they just kind of slither off, not necessarily like in a weird way, they just sort of fall off. Kind of like water off.
to each their own. To each
Wonderful.
their own. Hey guys, I feel like I do need to disclose this. I made friends with a eye thing that's putting eyes on everybody.
Where?
Where?
Are they
right
on
there.
here? Oh,
There's one right there.
I don't see anything. There's no
When they
eyes.
just slap them, the eyes do close and disappear for a moment, and then they appear somewhere else, or they wait till they're gone.
We're just.
I just feel like it's fair to warn you. It's obviously
Koo,
very
like-
friendly.
And Berl's just like.
Can you put some on my hand?
I don't control the eyes.
Is there
It's
one
a
on my
free
hand?
creature.
There's not one on the hand. Yes, but I'm sure eventually.
I'll just hold my hand out like a little mouth and wait for you to say.
You wait a very long time.
I feel like, being the wise Bran that I am, I could have lost my mind. Yes, that is a valid.
Over there staring at rocks.
But if I lost my mind, then I lost it making a friend.
Okay, Bran. Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna.
Like I said, gonna read a bedtime story to the plants as we go to bed.
All right, give me a performance check.
I'm gonna go to bed
All right.
Sleepy, sleepy.
Let's see how well you do.
Sleepy.
especially since they probably don't speak your language.
17.
Nokia,
Do we
can
need
I get a
a
bedtime potion?
watch?
I still have
If you want to.
3/4 of the way back to normal.
Okay,
17.
I think I might have one left.
Alright.
Really?
17.
I
You
think
read the
we
Planet's Bedtime story. They
Seventeen.
don't seem to understand
took 2.
anything that
And you
you're
had six.
saying,
I had
but they are
6, I took
pleased by
1.
the speaking and the reading, and they are pleased by the attention.
1,
I'm going to read what I have on hand, which is the Bran book. The book of Bran.
The Book of Bran.
I show him my book of fairy tales if you wanna.
Oh, much
Use
better.
that.
Bran's going to put... The Bran book's probably really dry and boring,
I have
and
2.
it's probably like...
I will take one.
I don't know. Anyway,
I want it
I'm gonna put it
back.
back. Gonna start reading them fairy tales.
Alright. You read them a fairy tale. This one is about the ogre and the giant. And it talks about how the ogre and the giant are both very stupid and very mean. And very, like, they try to hurt each other but end up as friends and don't realize they're friends because they keep trying to hurt each other and end up helping each other.
And as I'm talking about a giant like that, I'm gonna look over at Nakia every once in a while and I'm just like... And then just keep reading.
Giant. He like stops and stares at Nokia. Goes back to
Incredibly stupid.
Nokia's just asleep.
They didn't know it and made a friend.
Oh, you're.
But eventually, at
Sorry,
the end of the fairy tale,
yes.
the giant and the ogre realized they were friends and realized they were very silly.
I like Warren likes this story.
Horns out.
Alright.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
Is anyone doing a watch?
Yeah, that's a good question. Are we doing watches?
Berl would probably take the first watch since she's kind of frustrated with everything.
Alright, give me a roll for perception, I
Also,
guess.
before I go to bed, I'm gonna try to talk to, oh shoot, I forgot your name.
He doesn't even know about it. Brandon, or Nokia doesn't even remember my name.
Hey Bran,
That's not the best way to start.
I heard your story. Sorry about earlier today.
It's a parable.
Wait, did you give me my book back?
I didn't realize that.
Sure.
You know, I thought that the plants were going to eat us all. So I was trying to protect you because I thought you were going to get eaten by the
Alright.
plants.
He's trying to decide as exasperated as possible. But basically, like, it's okay now. I get it.
I'm sorry. I think the last...
I can't hold a grudge. It's
Cool.
against my nature.
Well, good night.
Nakia seems very, just like, oh, alright then.
Okay.
Alright, so, Berl, your watch, what's your roll?
17.
17. Alright, let me make my rolls. Okay. Things seem pretty quiet, and, there's only, like, maybe the occasional breeze of wind that's super faint. Just the smallest, almost like, just a faint, like, oh, well, your hair stands on end because you barely noticed it happening. And it's very quiet, it's too quiet. The plants don't snore at all. They do, however, occasionally just kind of roll or like reposition, planty things. And there's this soft rustle to that. But otherwise, yeah, your watch is uneventful.
Okay.
How long do you watch?
You know what? I'm gonna tell she starts feeling tired.
Alright, give me a roll for Constitution.
You're going to stay up all night.
Yeah, if she rolls like a 20.
Constitution saving?
Yeah.
6.
Okay. Not
She
too
lasts
good.
an hour.
You
Last 6 minutes.
You actually last about 2 hours in, and then 2 hours, sometime in there, you just sort of nod off. And,
Useful.
you don't wake up to wake anybody else up, so, who would be taking the second watch? Did you guys discuss it?
I don't think we did.
Everybody just kind of
Alright, make a roll then, everybody else, to see if you can wake up, and this is gonna be hard.
One roll?
Just
Just a d20?
Let's.
Straight up?
Yeah, roll wisdom.
Yeah, like a wisdom.
Okay, I got a 20.
Not me. I got an 8.
Okay, so you don't wake up.
Wait, so this is like a will saving throw. Is this like how deep you're sleeping? So a bad roll is you're more likely to wake
No.
up.
No, bad is like.
No, this is your ability to control your sleep and to be aware that someone didn't wake you up at a decent time that you were expecting.
Haha. That was wisdom. I got an 8.
I
Okay.
got that 19.
Okay,
I
so
had a 20.
Bran, you wake up and you notice that Berl's just conked out, face against the crown edge and stuff, and like there's a plant that's like slightly next to, but not poking. You know, if you dodge the thorns, they're actually quite soft. You know, and so Bran, your watch person is sleeping, and
Okay.
you know the lights are all out and soft rustling of plantiness, and you know you're like that for a while. What do you do?
You know, this is gonna
Take
be a
that
nice little Bran moment. You know,
Okay.
Bran spends so much time with other, putting effort into making friends with other people. This is
Okay.
some good
This is his
alone.
time.
This is some good Bran time. Yeah.
Yeah. So what do you do?
Probably gonna I don't know, Branny things. Probably gonna start reading that book. The
Alright.
Bran book. Book of Bran.
What are you looking for? Give me an investigation check, and I'll let you know a certain amount of knowledge based on what you want.
So Bran is trying to look for clues because it's the wheel book, right? It's got the big
Yeah.
wheel on it, it's got his name on it.
It's very, very personalized.
Trying to understand why there's a wheel there, and he learned a spell from having the book, and is trying to understand why it has his name on it. So
Okay, what'd you roll?
a 19 plus, so it's a 21 total.
Okay, cool. You managed to read a bunch of passages. Some of them are a little specific and useful. You find a diagram of a great hollow wheel, much like the one you found in the old sort of spooky temple, and that was turning, and you do read a lot of the symbols, you see it all, it's very clearly in Dwarvish. It's, the calendar wheel.
One of the few languages I speak.
And turning this wheel, because there are small spokes on it, it has diagrams of these great long arms that kind of just come from nowhere to turn this wheel.
Oh, that's kind of weird.
And it refers to the wheel is a symbol for time and life and cycles. It has a whole bunch of things it relates to.
Okay.
And the being that turns the wheel, it doesn't mention him by name, because that is, clearly blasphemy. However, it does refer to them as the one who turns.
Okay.
And, the arms of the turning one, and things like that. And it seems to refer to the ability to call on the arms of the one who turns as a power of those who are devoted to its service.
Okay.
They are sort of human and sort of monstrous. They're not necessarily supposed to be gross, though. They do look like normally looking enough. They don't look like terrifying. They just look like arms.
Okay.
But weird.
It's just the idea is strange.
Okay, so that's what it spells, like the arms of Hadar, or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Well,
You have educated yourself.
I have. I feel like a new Bran. Okay.
And it says in the book, though, that also the one who turns doesn't choose servants necessarily by their standing or this or that or even their own powers or abilities, but rather their dedication to the turning and their ability to, turn the wheel
Okay.
is sort of a metaphor to turn with the wheel.
Would you say you've rebranded yourself?
I didn't see that coming. That's good.
I appreciate it.
Stupid.
There's just a sound of pain coming from the DM.
It reverberates through the world.
However, you do know that, mechanically speaking, you do know that you can cast Arms of Hadar as a higher tier spell slot than a cantrip, if you ever so desire, for bonus dice, for 1 per level.
Cool.
So you can hit really hard if you really want to.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Alright, do you wake anybody else?
Well, Warren wakes up actually before you have time to do that.
Yeah.
So, I think Warren's the only one that doesn't. Bran hasn't feuded with yet. Really.
It's hard to
I
feud
don't
with
think
Warren.
I think you
Feuded
should
with
with
Berl.
Berl either, yeah.
That's true.
Rose has
What?
been very moody lately.
She's very moody.
Warren and I bonded over how boring we are.
You called me boring. You told them I was super boring. Like, don't tell Warren this, but he's super boring.
How did you know about that?
Well, no, I'm not doing it in my character voice, so
Okay.
it's not worth saying. What? Why are we awake? What's happening? Do I have eyes on me? I've had so many dreams about eyes on me.
Brand's gonna close the book and be like, well, there's the Bran time. There goes the Bran time.
It's time, now it's boring time. Like, oh, great, the boring one is awake.
Oh, man.
Like, is it my turn for watch or something?
We're just gonna, I was like, I'm just gonna shrug and we're just gonna kind of sit in awkward silence.
Okay.
Okay.
Do you know what's going on with Berl? She's super trying to leave the group without actually leaving the group.
I don't blame her sometimes because certain people in this party have been a little bit deceptive. And,
The 2 people that are still like super asleep the whole time.
every group needs to start from a certain foundation of trust.
I think we should wake her and ask her.
Who, bro?
Yeah. But I need you to help me. I don't believe this
Mom,
kind of
dad moment.
Okay, we're gonna go wake up Berl and I'm gonna be like, Berl.
Dad and second dad.
Berl, wisdom saving throw.
I was gonna say, I think that's
What'd you roll?
that's gonna be an 18.
Sure.
Well, do you not want to be woken up?
I'm neutral to it. We'll let the dice decide. The dice said 18.
That roll is actually more for keeping yourself cool as you were woken up.
Oh, okay.
Berl wakes up and manages not to do anything crazy as senses come back and, you know, the terror
As
of
the
being
name
woken up
suggests.
kind of drives you off. But Berl manages to wake him and is like, what?
What?
Basically.
I was sleeping.
I just wanted to let you know that we trust you.
Thanks, Bran. Back to sleeping.
No, stay awake.
What?
What's going on?
What do you mean what's going on?
You were, like, trying to escape the group, basically.
Brent's gonna draw a circle in the dust around all 3 of us and be like, this is the circle of trust.
Okay, Brian, do whatever makes you go happy.
You can trust us, Berl.
Just trying to get people moving. We're all staring at rocks and breaking walls. It's just like, can't move in places. Nobody's moving places.
This started before the lack of moving places.
Like when before you're tired or can't think straight.
I thought we're going like psychologist here. Like, how does that make you feel?
I really do feel like this is a dad and second dad moment with their young child.
Like a dad
When
and
did
a
this
boring
start?
uncle.
It was
Or 2
I
boring
think
uncles. And
before-
one
Boring uncles.
very set news.
Was it
I'm like
before
the-
we entered the dream?
I'm the grandma that gets away with everything.
Remember?
Nobody has the heart to tell you to stop.
Well, basically, like, usually you kind of hang around with Ku, and now you're not. And for that matter, you're not really hanging around with anybody. You're kind of upset all the time. I'm not sure why.
Well, lots going on.
Did we offend you, Berl?
No, you guys are fine. Just
Because I feel like I offended you.
no, you didn't do
That
anything.
is such a dad thing to say.
Am I a good dad? I feel like I'm not a good dad.
No, Bran, you didn't do anything to offend me. You just seem to have a way of trying to make friends with everything, and then kind of don't want to make friends with everything.
Oh.
We need to find what we're here to find, and everybody's getting hung up on things.
Well, Berl, do you have an idea of where we should go?
The heck if I know. I've been trying to figure it out. But there's nothing to go off of. We're just wandering around aimlessly, and that's part of what's frustrating me. I have no direction to go.
I'm going to threaten to wake up Koo if you don't tell me what's really going on.
What does it mean?
Well, something's going on. What's going on?
Be more specific.
You don't talk to each other anymore.
No,
And ever since
she
you've been
doesn't.
really angry.
Yeah, she doesn't want to hang out with me anymore.
Well, she hangs out with Nakia all the time. I don't think that's because she doesn't want to hang out with you anymore.
She always hangs out with Nokia. It has nothing to do with it.
Yeah, exactly. So the fact that she hangs out with lots of different people doesn't mean she doesn't want to hang out with you.
Well, she isn't good enough to hang out with.
Berl's gonna.
Why do you say that?
She
Bran?
told us so.
Bran's gonna reach over and put a hand on Berl's shoulder and be like, and cast guidance, by the way, and say, and say, Berl, it sounds like
The whispering begins anew.
it sounds like the way forward is to find the ship.
Okay.
You know what ship I'm talking about, Berl?
Don't start that.
The friendship.
Don't start that. Not in the mood, Bran.
Though he does say that, and you do hear that. You also hear a faint whisper, just kind of like someone whispering in your ear, and you just hear like
It's probably not that important.
I already have a friend. I'll pat them.
the other friend is literally asleep,
Yeah.
wrapped around your leg,
Yeah.
but asleep.
I'll just pat
With
his-
one arm, by the way. The other arm is literally against the wall, like grabbing the wall, like death grip.
I was like, I have a friend. It's fine.
I'm happy for you about that, and I think that we've made a lot of progress today. What do you think, Warren?
No, the opposite. Okay. It doesn't. I don't think Koo really goes around not being nice to people. I don't know that that's necessarily what happened.
Okay, so telling me that she doesn't think that I'm good enough to be her partner in crime is not being nice to people.
Yeah, alright, now we're hitting the awkward wall where he's like, I don't know how to handle this crap. Why did I do this? So I did.
Berl
Then
does
those two
hear
are out.
another whispering, this one perhaps more useful, is just, the wheel is yours, the ship is yours.
And he's like, I've never known her to be not nice. Maybe like too honest.
Too honest to
Lift
me,
the Bran
yeah.
out.
Too honest. So I really am not good enough for anybody.
It's not. You shouldn't want to be good enough at crime.
I was content with that. But then she told me that I wasn't good enough for her, and then she didn't want to. And
Alright,
she
you
just-
guys are talking and it takes forever, and
Do other people wake up and hear this?
no, but you guys have talked for so long, it's basically another shift length of time. And
Also, we get slightly more punch drunk as we think on.
yeah.
I'm gonna try
The
and.
only person who notices anything really interesting is Bran, and Bran begins to hear soft footsteps.
Hey, so let's table this for the future. We'll come back to it a little bit because I hear some people or footsteps approaching, and I smell a friend.
I'm gonna go back to sleep and make friends with it.
I'm gonna keep poking Warren. Warren, you probably don't want to go sleep. There's footsteps coming. You probably don't want to go to sleep.
I've done so much. This is where
But it could be a friend.
good night.
You and your friend was getting the death of you these days.
Did you guys both go back to sleep?
No,
What are you gonna do?
she's still awake. She's just muttering.
I'm too old to stay awake.
Well, I do want to be courteous of everyone else who's sleeping. Right. I don't want, no sense
raising an alarm when it could just be another potential friend.
Yeah, I mean, why not?
So I'm gonna just kind
Unless
of
they're a brand mapper.
true. I'm gonna walk over to. But Bran's never been Bran that before. This this never happened. So the closest he got was when Nokia picked him up, and tried to carry him away. So he's gonna walk over and start towards the footsteps. Approach the footsteps.
Okay.
And
You approach the wall that surrounds the region.
okay, the crown thing.
So, yeah, the crown, the edge of the crown.
How high is it?
It's about 2-3 feet tall.
Okay. So I'm gonna look over the edge of the wall and say, hey, we've got a great camp here.
Well, you don't have anyone like immediately in front of you, but you do see in the distance darkish, human-y shapes.
Multiple?
Hundreds of them.
Hundreds of
In
what?
fact,
Just
thousands.
human-y shapes.
This is
Peeking out of walls, peeking out of corners, sort of crouching and walking across the ground.
I think that's a
They seem to be
sound.
picking
Yeah.
through the dirt.
This is giving
I
me
am
some
going
IKEA
to
vibes.
The infinite IP.
Yes.
I think that's a second.
Let's not you understood my reference.
So Bran's a little torn, and so I'm just gonna think out loud a little bit. We've got a bunch of potential friends, and so far, friends are what I've been making non-stop, just non-stop friends, which has been great. But also, we're having a little bit of internal strife, and it'd be great if we made friends as a group.
So, what is Bran's sense of mind when it comes to danger? Does he just see danger
I
as
think
one
he's
big
completely
friend, or
oblivious to it. I don't know if this is a danger situation. This might just be a hey, let's wake up and make more friends situation. So he's
Or
gonna
just
go back.
something spooky that happens.
No. He's gonna walk back and he's gonna poke Warren and be like, "Hey, Warren, we got some friends."
No, gosh, no more friends. Less friends grew on me and their eyeballs.
Making the
I've
friends.
had so many dreams about your new friends.
All right, camp, wake up, and then start making noise, clanging on armor. All right, guys, we got some friends. I made more friends.
Have to take
Potential friends.
a saving throw.
Friends
Only if you want to.
Brand's gonna start making lots of noise.
He's making enough noise, everyone can wake up if they choose
I rolled
to.
in that one.
Oh, dang it!
All
I got a
right,
14.
let me see. I'm gonna roll a die. and
I
see if
wanted
you
to
react
roll so
well or
badly.
poorly.
No.
You reacted quite poorly. You basically turn over and you're just like having trouble waking up.
Can I jump up?
Wait,
down,
him or
up,
me?
down?
no.
He's not gonna trouble. He rolled terribly.
Rolled that one.
Basically, he's not gonna be awake for a while.
Okay.
So my normal self.
Yeah, pretty much.
Ding dong, friend time.
Cool. What do you want to do?
Huh? I mean, I rolled a 14.
You want to? Okay, you wake up.
Okay. I will walk
Q's up,
over
groggy, and
to
That's
Bran
it, who was
and
what?
We have
I'll
friends.
just put an arm on Bran's leg because it's the farthest up I can reach and be like, Bran, let me give you some advice here, okay?
Hey, let's make friends.
Yeah,
Friends.
about that.
Come
Here, let me tell you something, okay? Not everybody wants to make friends, and there's sometimes when we need to decide when making friends is not as important as other things, and I think Mary's one of those types.
Okay, so let's just
Can
say
I see them? B-dubs?
I'm
Are they
gonna
outside? They're outside of the
I'm
ground.
gonna peel.
that's on the crown, and there's a wall there. But if you do look out, you can see vague shapes.
I'm gonna appeal to logic here and say 50-50, right? 50% chance they're friends, 50% chance they're not, but
Are they surrounding all sides?
they could be friends.
They're just everywhere.
Come on, guys.
None of them seem to be like friendly and interested in
How
like
many we made so
the
far?
open, but they are all kind of picking around, and they do
so
sort
far,
of.
But I think there's sometimes when
They're looking
we need
in
to
the dirt.
understand that
They're kind of like
enough
digging
friends,
through it. They're hunched
and
over
that
and they're
50%
looking.
chance might
They're digging
not
through the
be
dirt.
friends.
Okay, but
Often they're bent
now we're
over
gonna get deeper in the
and
logic
they're
here.
reaching in the dirt
Alright, I hear
and
you.
kind
I
of
hear
doing
you.
things.
I hear you,
and
but
kinda like
and I
scraping
want
around
to
and you-
understand
that's
here,
actually
but
What gave them
50%
away
chance
is
they're
soft
friends, 50% chance they're not,
dust.
So how about just
50%
gonna
chance
like
they're not.
watch
Well,
them,
maybe
investigate them to
50%
see
of
what they're
that
looking
So
for?
is that they're not.
They do not seem to give a sign of what they're
How
looking
do you
for.
determine then what percent of that is friends and what's not? Because it seems
so
like every
like
time
that
you're
gives you-
shooting for 100%.
They do seem to try
You're like, I'm
and
gonna make my
not
friend
look
this no matter
for each
what
other
until
though.
you
They
get
seem to
yourself
like
killed.
You don't know unless you
recognize
try.
each
So
other
you
and
try,
avoid
there's
each
something
other.
where you need to stop trying.
Hasn't failed me now.
Can I make an
Yeah.
Arcana check to see if
So
I know
just-
if I can
just,
figure out what they are?
I just gave
Sure, you
up.
can roll whatever you want, but they're going to be dark shadows in the night.
We're like appealing logic, and she's
So
like.
essentially, I
really
can't.
You don't have any
He
good way to
keeps
get anything
looking
on them
for-
right
this is
from
right.
here, and your dark vision doesn't give you a good sense of what they
Keep
are
up with everybody.
from
Always trying to make
100
friends
feet
with everybody.
away, you know? It's just too far for your night vision to go.
Not yet. Not yet.
See?
Poke
I
us.
already-
However, Koo, you are aware that
It's
one of
just
them,
wait a few
But I'll be
minutes.
like, bro.
one of
see?
them gets far too
See?
friendly with another one, and then they just start like wrestling. And there's not a single much sound other than the soft of the dust. And one of the shadows just like pins the other to the ground, and then just starts like banging its head into the other one. And the other one goes still.
They're just very friendly.
Hey-
So did the
Hey,
plant things
Bran.
wake up?
She's
Nope,
gonna pick.
the plant things are still.
She's gonna poke you. Hey, Bran. Hey, Bran.
Yeah.
Do you have anything to light?
Do I ever? Sacred flame.
Alright, where do you light
Okay,
it?
well, I just
Just like kind of out between us and the shapes.
Alright,
without
you
hitting
do.
any of them.
Yeah, of course not.
And I'm watching closely.
You cast Sacred Flame out there? How far? There's about 100 feet?
Between
50? Yeah, and you're just going.
Yeah, probably like I don't know how far I can cast it actually.
I'm not sure how far either, so that's why I'm asking.
Well, I will tell you in like 10 seconds. Let's see here. 6
She's like peeking up over the ground.
I can go 60 feet, so I'll go 60 feet.
Alright, you throw it at 60 feet, and you can't see the shadows past it anymore because of your light blind. Because you just put up a bright light source where you're looking at in the middle of the night. And that does blind you.
So any visibility though into them at all.
For them, but you are able to still look to the sides and do see other figures way out there on the other sides. But you have trouble seeing up ahead, but then all of a sudden you do see glints. These bright glints in the night from their eyes as they turn.
So,
They have eyes. That's good. This is good.
I'm just
If they didn't have
trying to
eyes,
figure,
I'd be
because
worried.
she's trying to see what they are so that she can do a Arcana check.
What can Bran walk out there?
You can step over the fence and walk
You're gonna take his
like
lantern.
a human.
Yeah, we'll
Sure.
take his lantern.
You're not
and walk
Koo,
out
you're
there.
not held in by this fence.
Not even Koo's really held in, but it would take her like a moment of climbing. But not much.
So Bran, Bran's gonna kind of carry his lantern out and be like, okay,
Alright,
guys,
you leave
I'm
the
gonna
lantern
see
on?
what they
Is there
want.
anything?
I'll be right back.
Be careful.
I'm gonna see what they want. I'll be right back. It'll be fine.
Alright.
Don't worry about it.
As you approach your sacred flame, you do see that they are coming towards it slowly, and they're kind of looking at it.
Okay.
They're staring at it with their glinty eyes in the dark,
Can I still make
reflecting this bright white, like, coloration of the fire. So their eyes almost look empty and
Wait,
white
Have
sockets
my
as
eyes
well.
adjusted to the light so that I can see them yet?
Can we see what they're
You're still having trouble seeing past the light source, because that's what lights do in dark. They kind of make it hard to see past
Okay,
it.
but I have a lantern now.
Yeah,
I'm walking
and
out
he's
towards
there,
it.
and he can see past it. You can see around it, though, now. You've adapted to that, but past and kind of the immediate area, kind of the light drowns out the color behind it.
Right.
That's fine. I just need to see a creature.
Yeah, can I
You,
see them?
you do. You see a vague humanoid shape,
That's fine.
and
humanoid shape. Okay.
they stand about 6 feet tall.
Okay.
They seem to have very emaciated as well, but they seem to only have 2 arms,
Okay, they want some food.
2 legs,
Okay. Brad's
and
like,
But I can't
that's
see
all you
that.
can really get from
so
the
you know, like
distance.
in like that Sherlock show where like Sherlock will look at somebody and like see all these details. Bran like looks at them and sees all these like ways he can become friends. Like emaciated, food.
I want to cry.
Bran,
Pew,
Bran, we need our cleric, okay? And I don't want to lose you. I
He's
think
already
now-
like 50 feet away.
Yeah. I'm gonna roll. I'll do an Arcana check.
About 18 more kind of approach to look at the fire.
I'm gonna do an Arcana check and see if I understand going.
Okay.
That's a nat 1.
You don't have a clue,
Right.
but
Right.
using your intelligent Bran mind,
Okay.
you're able to quickly surmise that these are clearly random people in the total weird
Potential
place.
friends.
They're all just really the same as everybody else. People lost on the road of life.
Okay, we can work with that. Hey guys, they're just people lost on the road of life. You yell it out at them.
I'm gonna use
Okay,
the
then go
can't
back to
check.
bed.
I'm not dead yet. Huh?
My arcana check was 19.
All right. You're still quite a ways away. They are strange humanoid figures in the night, and you do hear references of there are many creatures like this, so not necessarily like the most easy thing to identify. But they're looking for something. They're probably some kind of like searching ghost or searching monster. You know, humanoid manifestation. You don't have much of a source to base this on, but you figure there's a lot of fairy tales about strange people hunting in the night for who knows what, maybe innocent people, maybe something totally normal like a lost carrot.
If it's innocent people, I'm safe.
Yeah, a
Sounds
piece
good.
of paper and something to write with that I can carry with me
In real life or in the game?
in the game.
I don't think I can hear you at this point.
I need something like portable that I can draw something on.
You can yell at
I'm
me.
not risking anything. in
Does
this
Sacred
world.
Flame last forever?
I can.
No.
How long does it last?
Secret flame?
I mean,
It's-
none of us have
it's like a
anything
one-
unless we try.
That's true.
I mean, you
Summon
could
out.
probably ride in the dirt.
Oh, I just rolled a
Yeah,
2.
but
I
can't-
opened my bag
I
and
can't
find
take it with me.
dust in it. Probably didn't work.
Yeah, like I can put it on the ground, but I can't move it with me.
Okay.
Yeah,
I love
Secret,
this song.
Secret Team is just, or Sacred Flame lasts as long
Oh,
as.
Skyward Sword.
In the meantime, while Bran's out trying to make friends,
Underground system.
I am going
Best
to
level.
make a giant version of that eyeball thing inside the middle of the crown and put the salt in it and feel safe and protected, hopefully.
Okay. You do?
I think I might just try and go back to sleep. It doesn't look like they're gonna attack.
Okay.
If I'm gonna wake up, I'm gonna wake up after everything is over.
I definitely vote that nobody move. If we just stay still, maybe they won't notice we're here.
Alright, so what's everyone doing real fast so we can make sure we know? You've done your thing in the middle and you're sitting by it. You...
I'm just asleep, kind of.
Frankly,
waking
you're
up.
still rolling around in sleep. Q, you going back to bed?
Yeah,
Okay, you
if
go back to bed.
I don't see any danger.
Don't
so
worry, I got this.
I think
Bran,
it's
got
good.
this.
what'd you do?
You know Bran. Bran's gonna try and make some friends.
You going out?
He's already out.
Yeah.
No, like further to like touchy distance.
Well, okay, so he's got the lantern. that
And you've got your
casts-
Sacred Flame sitting out there in the middle
No,
of
the Sacred Flame's probably burned out by now. Because
Okay.
it's a one action thing, so it's like
6 seconds.
6 seconds.
Okay.
So he's got the lantern on that casts what, like 30 feet, you said?
20 and then 60.
20 and then 60. Right. So he can see for a pretty wide
Yeah,
distance.
you can see at least 60 feet.
Right. So I'll get, within 30 feet, probably.
Okay, and Warren, what are you doing?
I am ready with my bow, but I'm not moving.
Okay.
Just
Alright, in that moment, when
Yeah.
Bran moves within 30 feet,
bad. Or amazing.
Bran, please
Friends
don't die.
might be made.
You all are so jaded about my friend making that you just don't care anymore.
Well, Berl definitely cares. She's trying to convince you out of it.
4 of them literally just start like sprinting in this terrifying, like extremely jerky way towards you. And they're just sort of like, they just start going and they are coming straight towards Bran. And yeah,
Let's not lose our only player.
Part of me was like,
they make
Let's please not lose our only
If
player.
they aren't
You
hungry
can't
enough to
revive
keep you
yourself,
alive.
Bran. You
he's
can.
too pure for this world.
I mean,
You're
it's
gonna
worked
kill
so
off
far.
another character.
Let's find out. Let's see if they eat.
I don't know. I mean, like, yeah, I kind of want to be true to the whole friend thing. I don't know if I would run away at this point or.
Once you
Do
scream,
they
I
look
think
like
he's gonna
really
get up.
angry?
As they come more closer, you see their faces are these hideous, almost sort of.
Yeah, let's be clear. The physical appearance has no effect on how much friend I can.
Alright.
We've already made friends with some pretty grotesque things. So.
Yeah, it's just this might help you make decisions. They have these long clawed hands. Some are webbed, not with their own skin, but with the remains of leather and skin from something else, just left there. They have blood-like stains all over their hands and faces. They have this red maw with these kind of jagged, bent, and broken teeth that they are just kind of gnashing constantly as they come. And they have this sort of all these bite marks out of their own flesh, just all over the place. And they are just absolutely emaciated.
This is just getting harder and harder.
And they just kind of hiss out this
It's your
soft
test.
kind of breath every time they do something, this ragged wheeze. And it's almost like there's nothing in there, like no tongue.
So the question is Bran's desire to make friends more overpowering than his conscience that tells him when he's in danger?
So here's what Bran's going to do. Bran is going to hold his arms out in a.
Warren, you recognize these as monstrosities.
So Bran is going to hold his arms out in a hug fashion while casting Sanctuary on himself.
Ooh.
And Sanctuary means that any creature that would like to attack me must make a Wisdom saving throw, and if they fail, they have to choose a new target.
Alright. As
Or-
they jerkily rush you, what do they have to pass?
What's the DC?
What's your
16.
DC? Yeah, they all fail. They drop to their knees, hands just raking down their faces and just basically forced to the ground as this giant kind of almost golden wheel just ascends from the heavens and it just lands on the ground and just grinds its way on against the dust and it's kicking up this storm of silent dust tornado behind it. And then there's this long hand just reaches out and grabs as many of them as it can and just pulls them into the wheel, and the wheel just contracts and it into nothing. If you can't tell, they rolled a nat 1.
The ultimate hug.
The hug of the deity itself.
And the other creatures that did take notice have stopped and they're just watching. None of them seem to be brave enough, which is hilarious because they are well enough to take you out.
Okay.
There are hundreds of them, thousands out there just watching you.
Okay. Cool. Cool.
I didn't expect them to roll that ones like that, but hey. I guess Bran's gonna be some kind of divine acolyte, because frankly, they roll terrible and he rolls just fine.
Not sticking to your guns,
Warren,
guys.
you don't need him to slowly stand up and go over to Bran for safety.
That was dangerous.
And that's how the night passes.
Okay. Are they still out there though?
Hmm?
Are they still out there though?
As the night begins to brighten, no sign in the heavens changes at all, but it just gets lighter. And they start to begin to crawl into the odd corners and behind things and never appear again. And one of them kind of buries itself into the dust, and then there's just gone, and there's no hill left.
Alright, so they don't like light. Bran, I think you should keep that lantern of yours
Wait,
lit
were
the
you
whole
awake?
thing. Oh yeah, I'm awake.
Oh,
She made
because I was the only one that was back to sleep.
was like.
Oh, right.
The lantern didn't stop them.
but they
never
don't
woke
like
up,
light.
so.
I did not get
They
it.
were drawn towards
Our
the
deception
light
was
that
too
you put out.
tiring.
Yeah.
Does anyone want to roll a check? Hey, a creature check so I can tell you?
Sure, yeah.
I mean, I'm asleep. I tried that.
Is that perception?
You did and you failed and I'm sorry. It was not necessarily because you failed, it's because the situation was bad for it.
They did burn a
19.
spell slot.
I did not
What's the
fail.
modifier?
It was the middle of the night from a vast distance. You can't expect to identify every monster perfectly. And I gave you all the information you needed.
Yep, I wasn't in danger, so I went back to sleep.
Yeah, basically. Roll it.
What's the modifier?
Well,
Arcana?
Arcana? What else
That's what
have
I've
you been
been
rolling?
rolling.
I mean, it's not religion.
Maybe like
Definitely not religion.
+1, so it'll be like 10. Yep,
What'd you roll?
10.
Okay, you're like, all those things are creepy.
Yeah.
They're like every boogeyman nightmare you've ever had. And all the ones you've ever heard of seem like, yeah, that's kind of the kind of boogeyman I was expecting.
No, let's get out of here, Bran.
You know, as it gets brighter though, everyone can get a short rest in. So you guys can all do a short rest and whatever that means for you.
I don't know what that means for
Probably
me.
not me though.
I don't know what that means.
You
That's
can.
Okay,
pretty
so
much
you
up to
can.
mine.
Aside from hit dice, is there
The dice and
any
spell slots.
general recovery that does not require hit dice in a short rest?
So are we waking up in general?
Not really, no, but it does prevent you from receiving
Get over
exhaustion,
here.
Okay.
which is very
You missed the
useful.
miracle.
Let me just put it that
Slept
way.
through the miracle.
Receiving exhaustion is no fun
No,
ever.
it's not. She's already been through at least level 2 tier of that.
Yeah, it kills you. I mean, I've died to it. It was very lame. So you guys, the not sun is out, the day is beginning to brighten, the flowers begin to stir, and they are very stretchy.
Do we wake up?
Oh, heck yeah.
Okay, I'm up. What I miss?
Man, that sanctuary spell's awesome. That was fun.
It was mostly because
guys-
they rolled so
Well,
poorly.
it's great if it's like just you with a lot of people because they can attack other people in your party.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's just them around each other, they'd have to attack each other if they hadn't nat one.
Oh, you guys missed craziness.
But I don't know. So, okay, we need to talk about Bran and his making friends thing, because I know he's got killed, and we can't risk losing our cleric. Can somebody maybe try and talk some sense into him on that?
I am
We made some
fully
solid
converted.
friends last night, guys. Okay.
Yeah, we did, but I mean, there's some times where you gotta, better judgment when there's something out there to kill you.
I don't know if he's willing to put himself into danger for it. I mean, live your dreams, right?
I am fully converted.
It's a funny way to put it out like that.
That's Koo's kind of philosophy.
What?
He is
Okay.
indestructible. There is nothing that can kill him when he's making friends.
Look,
I
so,
can't
happened last
explain it,
night?
but it's true.
look.
I mean,
So
he
far,
hasn't died yet.
what have we gotten? We've gotten a bunch of random creature followers. We've got a bunch of plants following us around.
However, and this morning you do notice something in the distance. There is a tower.
Let's go to the tower.
Yes, thank you. I'm tired.
It is.
Hallelujah.
I'm going
It's
to
sort of
tower.
almost like a pyramid shape in the distance.
Towards the
A
pyramid.
vague grayish pyramid in a grayish land.
As Berl heads out, I'm going to reach over to Ku and say, you know what? We should give Berl this. She really just wants to move places. We had a good talk last night.
I'm done. I want to be out of this dreamscape. Last time I was in the dreamscape, I died.
Okay.
I mean, she's not wrong. You also got saved by the most epic assist ever.
Yes, I did.
Anyway,
But she definitely has been.
Also, if you die, I can bring you back in this game. So.
She just says that too. Last time I was in a dream, I died.
I just
Right. And Brent's just like, okay.
You guys make your
Yeah, way
vast
too
journey
serious.
across the desert. Everybody give me a roll. Just D20 Constitution.
D20, huh?
Constitution?
Call it a saving throw.
Oh,
Might
that's
be
pretty
better
good.
for some people.
17.
21.
24.
Not bad. You got 5? Warren is exhausted.
Oh, thanks.
This is actually rather warm, despite the apparent lack of much else. It is actually pretty hot. And it's a long walk. You spend an entire, feels like a day, just walking towards this tower in the distance, this pyramid shape. The flowers are doing just as fine as Warren, though, and managed to keep Warren at least not falling too far behind. Warren is back with the flowers. Is what I'm saying, and how fast Warren is gone, and how exhausted Warren is when you get within range. As the sun begins to fall again, because there isn't a sun, it's just the light begins to go sunset.
Okay.
You begin to see this in the distance. It's giant and it's so grayish, and you begin to notice it's got jagged edges. It's not actually a full, perfectly smooth pyramid. It looks kind of interesting. Everybody give me a perception check.
A pyramid or a tower?
It's sort of a towery pyramid. It's very tall and it's very pyramidy, and it's also kind of a tower pyramid.
Lucky in that
I
one.
want to check.
Perception.
21.
Not bad.
That's kind of on
That's
the
nat one.
side, though.
Good buddy.
No, it's not cocked.
It's kind of.
You're just like,
It's not.
I see a
can
gray
see
thing.
it go
It's
full
a tower.
He's right, it's
I
not
perceive a
cocked.
shape.
If you look at it this way,
It's not cocked.
If you look at it this way with your eyes crossed and a little bit of...
Did you get in that one?
I'm lucky to win that one. This makes 2 plus 1 is 3.
So-
I also got a 2.
I got it.
I guess, what'd you get?
A 12.
Okay, so you're normal. Cool. This is for you.
Yeah!
You notice that this is made out of things put together. It's not actually just solid stone. It's actually a giant tower of bones. This pyramid is made out of bones that are sticking out the edges of it. That's what makes it look slightly jagged. It's a giant towery pyramid made out of all these bones that have been kind of almost woven together and just perfectly fitted together to make this titanic thing. And some of these are massive from this distance, thousands of feet away. They're still slightly visible. They're probably 100-foot long bones. And you just see this tower of that. And that's what's up ahead.
Guys, it's Bone Tower.
I'm regretting heading towards this thing now.
Maybe this is
But
what we're
maybe
finally
it's the
looking
way
for.
that we get out.
This might be what we've been looking for this whole time.
Desperate war.
So am I.
Just want to get out.
Yes, I do.
And
You can come here anyways.
That's
Because
like
we
you
have
basket.
to,
Climb
we
the
have
tower.
to help the
Now we're off to climb another tower.
one dead king guy trying to save us.
Trying to
Well,
lift the
why
curse of
Howard?
our mirror. That's why.
Well,
Sure.
why did we come into the attic?
you do, and you don't want to see what you see. Roll a wisdom
Same
saving
reason
throw,
why we're
Berl.
heading towards
Me?
this
Yeah.
tower. Because it
You
was
lifted
tall,
the mirror,
there
do
was
it.
a tower and it was
They did
the
the what?
tallest,
The
most
mirror?
interesting
No,
looking
I didn't.
thing that stood out. So we're like,
I mean,
we're
it's
gonna
just
work that.
What did you do then?
And now
You
we're
said
doing it
something
again.
you were going to do
in this
this.
weird attic
I.
location.
He was asking why are we here. I said because we're trying to lift the curse off of Darn Mira.
Oh, darn. You said mirror, not mirror.
Not lift the
Mira,
mirror.
yes.
Yeah, you got really
mirror.
excited. Still, it would be funny if you did hold the mirror up
Alright, well, the other
and take sanity, basically, because what you see is hideous and abominable and should never be spoken of.
So, what am I adding to my roll?
Just wisdom saving throw.
That makes a 19.
Alright. You managed to not, die, and you don't go totally insane, but you did see things you'd rather have not seen, ever. You've seen dragons connected to, squid, connected to people, connected to this thing, connected
Because all
to
the bones
that,
are connected.
connected to this kind of almost tree, connected, and there's just arms, and there's heads, and there's legs, and it's just this pile of living things. There's this perfect tower of it.
We'll slowly,
And they're just all silent and writhing together.
we'll slowly lower the mirror down and be like, yeah, this is just an
But-
evaluation of Owens.
But you also realize that that's probably not some kind of monstrosity. It's rather you're seeing a million living things at once together in the same spot.
Yeah.
And it was just the juxtaposition that made it so terrifying.
Yeah, no, there's a bunch of different bones in there, you guys. They all come from different sources.
That's what I said.
See, that's nice though. At least it's not
Yeah,
just
confirmation, right?
Hey.
one giant bone thing.
So let's go. Let's go in. Yep, let's definitely go in right now. I'm gonna start walking in.
Alright. You begin to walk towards it.
And it comes alive.
No.
With chick stuff.
There's a
This is what we
great
always do.
there's a great circular door at the base of it.
Okay.
And it's about 10 feet kind of in diameter. So pretty big opening. And the bones around it are all sort of things that are kind of grabbing around the door to in the pseudo act of holding it open in a bit of too much artistry. There's a huge dark hole that goes into this tower, and this tower is huge. As you get closer, it just towers into the heavens. It's thousands of feet tall.
So is it like solid? Like are the bones stuck together enough that
You cannot
there's
see
no
anything
gaps?
through the bones. They're just bones. So many bones, it forms like this almost surface.
Is the door big enough for our plant buddies to come inside with us?
Yeah, I mean, they slither through that tiny hole. They can get in there just fine.
Right.
They don't seem to notice the boniness or how weird that is.
Then we're golden. Let's go inside.
Go.
All right.
Let's do this thing.
As you do, before you enter in, there's a moment of light.
Whoa.
The heavens kind of part, and there's this kind of moment of like, it's not lightning, but it sounds like it. And then above this thing, there begins to appear this great orb of light and things, and it expands out, and it is a massive sort of moon-like thing.
Above the tower?
Mm-hmm.
At the top?
Yep, at the very tip.
It's at the tower.
At the very top, this titanic,
Holy
basically like the moon
The
is
Eye of
touching the
Sauron.
tower, and
I want
it's
it.
this huge moon, and
The
a big
tower's
shiny.
mooning us.
Berl,
I was gonna say,
make your roll, saving throw.
oh jeez. So, okay, I had, at least from what I could figure, I had 4 days left, but I'm taking it more time passed, or is this just something that is in the world?
You'll move.
Oh,
I'll tell you when we're done.
alright, so Berl's not feeling so hot. Oh, thank goodness.
That's why she's been so moody. She's gonna.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe we could incorporate that in there a little bit.
Period. Kind
You said
of.
wisdom? You said wisdom, or?
Well, I can't repeat that.
It's not how I'm up, you know.
Wisdom.
Okay, that makes a total of 20.
20. You managed to succeed. You begin to feel the call.
Oh my
It
goodness.
is a powerful force that rattles your bones and like crawls and slithers through your flesh. You feel this like drive and this will, and then you begin to see it. The eyes. There are 2 pairs of these like almost slit-like eyes that just appear before you in the moon, and then eyes begin to appear on literally everything around you. These are not necessarily human-y, more normal eyes like the ones that he's seen, but you wouldn't know exactly what those look like. These are like slits. Eye-like slits that just radiate this sort of like glowing red from literally everything else. Everyone else's eyes change, and everyone in your party, everything, and every single thing that used to be, that you saw through the mirror, is now visible, and they all look at you in one moment with the same eyes. And there's a moment, and you just fall to your knees and begin to feel your flesh beginning to warp and twist. And
Do we notice?
everybody notices her fall to her knees, let out this hideous, shrieky, gurgly noise, and begin to like flail as her hands begin to warp, and begins to experience an incredibly interesting event. And but you don't see any of the eyes or anything else on that. It just looks like the moon just showed up, and suddenly Berl's lost her mind. And there we go. That's where we'll end it for tonight. And then next time we'll finish up basically the story, because I have to get to a good ending.
Yeah.
Or
You'll
die.
be murdered
One
by
of the
your
two.
best friend.